And we'll be with you until 9 o'clock. 6, 7, 8, 9. All right? There is a lot to be reviewed, and we hope to get through the entire spectrum of issues for you this Sunday. We're gonna have to go again on TikTok. We are having a little bit of technical problem, and therefore we're gonna have to do the TikTok over. Such is life when you have to be depending on the technology to tide you over. But bear with us, and we're going to be back up in just a minute. Okay, so good evening again to everybody, and welcome to the Hello Neighbor show. Um, the Gleaner had an editorial today, and the Gleaner posted a picture of the Prime Minister down. The Jamaica Gleaner editorial caught my eyes. As a matter of fact, I was in church when it was brought to my attention to take a look at the Gleaner's editorial. The editorial has an image purporting to be that of the Prime Minister, and the editorial reads, "Veil Royal and Red Lines." The Gleaner chose to post a blackened picture of the Prime Minister, and I found that to be alarming. It is clear to me that the Gleaner is on a campaign to destroy the Prime Minister. I think the Gleaner is kind of making it quite clear what their modus operandi is. I'm gonna ask you to tap the screen and share the live and help us to repost so that our friends can know that we are here. Okay, so tap and share and repost, and make sure that you invite your friends to join us on this Sunday, so that we can talk about the things that matter. Good evening to you, caller. Hello, Michael Edwards. Good evening. Hello. No. Are you there, sir? Are you there? No. Okay. The editorial reads, the public controversy over Jamaica's decision to accept third country nationals being thrown out of the United States will soon dissipate, which is what the government expects and is banking on. So the Gleaner is suggesting that the government is banking on the third country nationals debate dissipating. In other words, that it should go away. But the further erosion of public trust that the issue which the administration's handling of it has caused will continue to linger. For despite Minister Dr. Andrew Holness's view that the public and the political opposition's response to the matter borders on the ridiculous. Now, I don't know where the Prime Minister said that. The Prime Minister did not dismiss the opposition's views as being ridiculous. The Gleaner says that few Jamaicans accept that the administration acted entirely on its own volition in a supposed act of pragmatic foreign policy. The greater likelihood is that the other developing countries in the Caribbean and elsewhere, Jamaica was leaned on by the Trump administration to help in its outsourcing of the management of illegal immigration and asylum refugee issues. The Gleaner's editorial board previously observed, with respect to this and other matters, as a small country in proximity to a powerful neighbor that is willing to exercise its muscles, Jamaica has to be circumspect in how it maneuvers. It is sensible in these circumstances that the governments, insofar as possible, seek to develop political consensus on what ought to be national red lines when responding to pressures from powerful nations. That's pure hypocrisy coming from the Gleaner, Pure, unfiltered hypocrisy. The Jamaica Gleaner is hypocritical, and the editorial board seems to be editorializing for political interests. And I will tell you why. This is the part of the context in which the editorial board laments the long abeyance of the viceroyal process and recommends that urgent resurrection of the talks between the government and the political opposition on critical national issues, including the agreement on third country nationals. Such discussions don't guarantee consensus or agreements, but frank dialogue without the performative impulse of public crosstalk is more likely to bring clarity to issues and therefore better understanding of positions. Now let me ask the Gleaner something. Did Jamaica elect a consensus government? Did the people of Jamaica elect a consensus government? Or did the people of Jamaica, given a choice between the Jamaica Labour Party and the People's National Party, chose the Jamaica Labour Party? We don't want the PNP to be governing Jamaica, you know. We do not want the People's National Party to be governing Jamaica at this time. That decision was made on the 3rd of September. So what is the Gleaner talking about? In fact, according to Justice Minister Chok, 3 times they have written to the opposition leader asking for talks, and Mark Golding have not responded. So if Mr. Golding was interested in consensus, he would have gone and talked to Mr. Chok. Anyway, the Gleaner seemed to think that Jamaica needs to be governed by the PNP and the Jamaica Labour Party. That is rubbish. Anyway, we'll get back to that. Tomorrow, Stand for Jamaica's protest. Kay Osborne. You remember her? Kay Osborne. I wonder if I could speak to Mrs. Osborne. Stand for Jamaica protest. Tuesday, the 30th of June, 2026. There is going to be a protest in Kingston, led by former general manager of TVJ, Kay Osborne. Stand for Jamaica. You know, sometimes I wonder if Miss Osborne is ill. Are you ill, Miss Osborne? Or is it that Miss Kay Osborne is looking for recognition? Now, I continue to tell the Jamaica Labour Party that they had better wake up. Clearly, there is a struggle for power, and it is afflicting a lot of people. And I don't see how the Jamaica Labour Party continues to put out press releases in a civic illiterate country. The Jamaica Labour Party is not winning the information war. And some months ago, the Prime Minister declared war on misinformation. Well, Prime Minister, you're going to have to make some changes at that level, because you're not winning it. And I'm going to point out 5 ways in which it has been lost. But before I do, I want you to listen to Kay Osborne, she is going to be leading a protest in Kingston on Tuesday. Stand Up for Jamaica protest this Tuesday. Listen to her.
And we want labor rights to come out.
She's in. You know, I wonder if the lady. I wonder did she take her medication, Miss Osborne? I wonder if I could talk to somebody. Somebody could Is Kay okay? Is Miss Osborne okay? Seriously, she's inviting labor rights to come out to Halfway Tree on Tuesday for the Stand Up for Jamaica protest against the government. The protest is against the government, and Miss Osborne is inviting labor rights. That is not so. That don't sound like somebody who. Miss Osborne, please. Joseph James, how are you? How are you? Listen to Miss Kay Osborne, please. I beg you.
Wednesday morning at 7 o'clock. We do.
Unemployment in Jamaica is 3%. Where Miss Osborne going to find them, the people, 7 o'clock, to go a Halfway Tree with her? You know, as I was thinking about it this morning, I said to myself, you know, I may go there. Miss Osborne, meet me in Halfway Tree, ma'am. You the on one. You the on one side, and I the on one side. Let's see who can pull a crowd in. Oh boy, I tell you something. This country here is fascinating, you know. Miss Osborne, stay in your bed, ma'am. Drink your tea, and watch TV. Don't. Anyway, I don't know. I don't know what is happening. I think that we're gonna have to okay. Let's see if we can sort this out a little better. Give me a second. I'm coming right back.
Thumbs up the video, please, everyone. And all of you on TikTok, please repost the live and share and tap many times on Neighbor's box. Thank you.
Well, I am back. Okay. So here she's.
And it's funny you have said that because I got hold of a series of posts. I will just show one because it's very nasty. I will show one to the deep diving and two.
By the way, there's a man by the name of Noel. I don't know Noel what he named, but I have some questions for Noel. Is he a journalist or what? He seems a little bit Lord God, I tell you the truth. Anyway, Tuesday.
Oh, Ishmael, thank you for having me. And thank you for that for the introduction.
Thank you so much for taking the time out to visit us here at Deep Jamaica.
Thanks for inviting me.
Not a problem. Let's go. Before we get into the
deep diving because it is the new country we face require people to be thoughtful, and so
you hear that? The issues we now face require people to be thoughtful. But you are not being thoughtful, Miss Osborne. The issues we face require people to be thoughtful. But you are not being thoughtful, Miss K. Osborne. If you are talking about thoughtfulness, then you are not being thoughtful at all. Which is why I'm wondering whether or not Miss Osborne is ill. Because I don't understand. You can't be asking for thoughtfulness and you yourself refuse to think. If you're going to ask people to think, you know, must be a thinker yourself, man. I wonder if I could go in and say good evening to my mother, my producer. Producer, morning. Good. What time is it in the UK?
Good morning, neighbor.
It's so nice to hear you. It's so nice to hear your voice. I haven't heard you for so long. I miss you.
Oh dear.
Yes.
Miss you too.
I don't know. You're gonna have to talk to the moderators. They're not treating me as nice as you.
Oh dear. Yes, I definitely will.
Yes, please.
Moderators.
I don't get no.
you
I
can
get no
be
juice.
neighbor.
I don't get no juice. I don't get no roses, and I don't get nothing. It's well gone.
Well, I don't know, neighbor.
You-
That's between you and them.
But you should have set the thing properly before you leave. You can't just leave me so.
Oh God.
Okay, but you're doing all right. I'm so excited to hear it from you. I was falling into depression when I didn't see you.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I was falling into depression.
Oh dear.
Yeah. Hi.
Well, I'm glad you're feeling better, neighbor. But
Yes. Are you doing?
Other than that, you're doing good.
Well, I please come back soon.
Yes, neighbor. I'll be back soon.
Okay. Great to have you.
Okay. Of course. Good evening, everyone. Miss you all. Thanks for joining. Please tap, share, repost, send the art needs, and keep that comment section active. I won't hold up the show, neighbor.
Well, yes, we're well into it. Okay, thank you so much. So Miss K. Osborne is asking for thoughtfulness, but she's not being thoughtful. Listen to her and see if you hear someone thinking.
Asking all well-thinking Jamaicans to stand with us on Crossroads on Tuesday coming at 7 in the morning. I know it's early, but everybody busy. And this is, as you said, very important for our country and our people are at risk.
Our country and our people are at risk. What risk? What risk are Jamaica and the country is? You know, Miss Osborne, when Jamaica was at risk, where were you? You know anything about risk, man? When we were unaliving 1,700 people per year, did you hold a protest? You were down at TVJ. When unemployment in Jamaica was almost 16%, did you hold a protest? What risk is Jamaica at now? Is only people like K. Osborne believe that, you know, a little bit of dementia maybe. Miss Osborne, does Miss Osborne live in Jamaica? Huh? Because I don't think that is the same country we're talking about here. I encourage Jamaicans to go on to work Tuesday morning, get up and go on to work. Make Miss Osborne and make Miss Osborne and our civil society groups go on out a crossroad, go waste time. Get up and go on to work, Jamaicans. Go on to work. You don't have time to waste. Go on report for work early, 7 o'clock. We don't have no time to waste, Miss Osborne. Listen a little bit more to her absurdity.
Yes.
The country, Jamaica is our country. We, the people, it is ours. And if we don't stand up to Jamaica, it will be squandered and it will be handed over. And we, the people, stay here and suffer and get squeezed out of everything that is important and beautiful. So that is why I'm appealing to all well-thinking Jamaicans to stand with us. Tuesday morning, 7 o'clock in Crossroads, because there is a profound crisis of governance in.
There is no profound crisis of governance in Jamaica, Miss Osborne. You're talking rubbish. Miss Osborne, you got talking points from the PNP, ma'am. Come on for the people in camera. Nothing like that, no go so. Nothing like that go so. I encourage the people of Jamaica, the well-thinking people of Jamaica, go on to work Tuesday morning, go on the farm, go on the office, taxi man, go on to work. Left Miss Osborne time expired. Wasting time. Hold on. People have time for waste. Where is the crisis of governance in Jamaica? Underhand you wholeness? Come on now. We've never had it better than this. Okay? The problem is that the party is lacking in terms of its communication, That is a real issue, and I want to suggest that is a problem. Jamaica, based on all the matrices, all the measurements, is in its best position ever. And that is not debatable. You know something? Let me play something for you, because I think this is important. Prime Minister Holness.
Now you better, as Minister of National Security, stop this nonsense of telling people about, well, it is all our responsibility and nationally we must join together. When I was leader of opposition of government business, I came to you, Mr. Bunty. Mr. Speaker, member from Central Manchester, and I sat with you when this nation has the greatest opportunity to bring crime under control. I came to you and I sat with you and I said to you, join us. We have criminals on the retreat. We were uprooting the criminal gangs. And I asked you, please join with us then to extend the state of emergency into St. Catherine, where we would have been able to deal with one of the most dangerous criminal gangs in Jamaica. And you, member from Central Manchester, refused. Had we done that, we would have uprooted the most dangerous criminal gang in Jamaica. And today, Jamaica would have benefited from but you played politics then, and you are trying to play politics now. I will not allow you to do it. Jamaica will not allow you to do it. Don't ever come in here and I take my response.
All right. That the audio was a little unclear, but I hope you heard the Prime Minister. Desmond McKenzie said that every time that Jamaica wants to do something good, the PNP has stood in the way. Every time. Every time that Jamaica has set its sight on doing something good, the PNP has stood in the way. And this is another standing in the way with Miss Osborne. A PNP, a protest down a crossroad Tuesday. PNP Miss Osborne is PNP protests. Miss Osborne is PNP protesting down there. Okay, and if Jamaicans know what is right for them, then get up out of them bed, go out and work, and leave Miss Osborne down there. Now they, shower. We can't fall some rain. Rain can't fall Tuesday. We saw rain fall Tuesday morning. Showers down a crossroad. Showers down a crossroad Tuesday morning. As a matter of fact, I am thinking that I may go down a crossroad. Go meet Miss Osborne down there and take the microphone out of her hand and tell the people of Jamaica what is really happening. Okay? Anyway, a little bit more from her.
Jamaica. This is not a partisan issue. It is a moral issue. It is a governance issue.
That's not true, ma'am. It is a partisan issue. There's no moral issue there. It is politics, ma'am. You're playing politics, Miss Osborne, and it's not the first time you're playing it. We know you. You're playing politics, okay? Politics you are playing down at the politics or a politics. Whatever you are playing, ma'am, your slip is showing. Miss Osborne, your slip is showing, and it is fully orange. Fully orange, okay, Osborne. Miss Osborne is bitter, Miss Osborne is a bitter woman. And it is clearly coming out. But we see through you, Miss Osborne. We don't pay you any mind. Finally from her.
It is a matter of sustaining the country on a proper footing. We are witnessing the voluntary surrender of our national sovereignty.
We are witnessing the voluntary surrender of our national sovereignty. Imagine that. What Miss Osborne is saying is that we're giving up our independence. We are giving up our independence. Yes. That is what the PNP talking point is. That's what the PNP tell her to say. Anyway.
We are witnessing a cruel hoarding of disaster relief money.
A cruel hoarding of disaster relief money. Almost $70 billion spent on hurricane relief. And the government came out to explain how the $1.4 billion is being allocated. And Miss Osborne said the government is hoarding the money. What a woman. What a woman. You know what? Won't play any more from her. Leave her alone now. Jamaicans, go to work on Tuesday. Leave Miss Osborne and our PNP friends them down a crossroad. Let's see what happens down there. The other matter is about the clergy. The ministers fraternal in Montego Bay said many of our people are dying. That's what the pastors in Montego Bay say. Because of a lack of medical attention. Reverend Glendon Powell, the chairman of the St. James Ministers Fraternal, is taking the Jamaica public healthcare system to task over what he considers its various failures. Powell was particularly harsh about the situation at the Cornwall Regional Hospital, pointing to lengthy wait times, shortages of doctors and nurses, overcrowded facilities and inadequate ambulance services. Powell, who was addressing a press conference last Wednesday, said members of the clergy across St. James are increasingly hearing complaints from residents frustrated with the level of care being delivered by the public health system. Now, Mr. Powell, do you have any ties to the PNP? Do you? Is this a genuine concern you have, and you are voicing it, as is the right of the church, not only to raise matters of national concern, but to intervene to help? And what we should have been hearing from the clergy in Montego Bay is, what are they doing about it? Because Jesus did not only talk about hunger, he fed 5,000. So, Mr. Powell, Reverend Powell, do you have any plans to share with us as to what you and your fellow colleagues can do to help the process? I think it would be great to hear that coming out of the clergy over there in Montego Bay. But I'm hearing that Mr. Powell is quite a supporter of the of the party. Rev, I hear that you are you have some alignment there. Is that so? Because if it is so, then it places the whole matter of your concerns into question. I hope it is not true, but that's what I am hearing, that you do a little bit of political work. All right. Let's move on. Senator Lambert Brown in the Senate on Friday gave one of the most despicable piece of presentation, and I was shocked that the president of the Senate asked whether or not it was the position of the People's National Party. Would you be surprised if I tell you that it is? Would you be surprised that it is the position of the People's National Party? Now, I went to the PNP's website. Well, they have a.
Don't you talk about this bill?
What I'm about.
Don't you talk to?
What I'm about to play for you is coming from the PNP's Facebook page. The PNP posts it.
This bill to me appear to be preference of.
Hold on there. Just before I came on air, I got this. I don't know if it is coming out of the PNP, but it sounds like it come from them. It says, comrades, post whatever you want to post about the government. Yes, hear what they say. Post whatever you want to post about the government, and ensure you all flood social media with it. It does not have to be true in the moment, By the time the labor rights realize what is going on, it already gone viral. And people will not believe them. We must do whatever it takes to win the next election, and we fix it after. No. I don't know if this is coming out of the PNP, but there's a PNP logo on it. I'm saying I don't know. but I'm going to read it again. The party is still putting out press releases in a civic illiterate country. You know why I started this program? Just after the local government election that Mr. Hughes called for the PNP, I was concerned. And I was concerned because the reality of the election was not my reality. I was concerned because I couldn't understand how I saw the Prime Minister at 2 o'clock out in the streets campaigning for votes. And I said to myself, no man, something wrong. Something is wrong with these results. And I decided I was going to start the program. That's how I came into this space, you know. It was I was disappointed with the election results, the local government elections. And I said to myself, how could a government performing as well as this one be struggling to win a local election? And I'm saying to the party, change your strategy. Change it. Change the strategy that you are using to communicate. You are using a strategy. The politics of the Labour Party is not aligned to the people. Its governing policies are. Its politics is not. And there's a difference. The politics must be aligned to the level of the people. That's politics. In the game of politics, do not take the politics above the people. Keep it at their level. And the PNP is doing a better job at the politics. The Labour Party is doing a better job at government. The Labour Party is a good government. They're not very good at politics. They need to strengthen the politics at the level of the people. And I did something over the weekend that is interesting, you know. I went to the streets to talk to people. And I can tell you this. The policies of the government is not connecting with the Jamaican people. The people are being misled. They are not crediting sufficiently the government's policies to their improved standard of living. No hungry people in Jamaica, you know. No hungry people, no down here. People in Jamaica are living good lives. And it is as a result of the policies of the Jamaica Labour Party. So, Lambert Brown went almost nuclear in the Senate on Friday. And the president of the Senate challenged him to state whether or not it was the position of the People's National Party. What do you think the party did? The People's National Party took Mr. Brown's statement and posted it on their Facebook page. You think a lie I'm telling? Go to the PNP Facebook page and you will see there. That's how despicable those people are. The PNP is unworthy of support. And I'm very, very disappointed this evening, you know. I'm very disappointed. I am very disappointed. Because I thought that Mr. Brown was on a frolic of his own. Lambert Brown is... Who listens to Lambert Brown when he speaks? People don't even...
Asking everyone to tap the screen and share the live, repost the live, and remember to send in those art news, please. People
don't look at Mr. Brown. You look at Mr. Brown, you become a little disappointed. So if you can't look at him, you're not going to listen to him. So nobody not listen to Mr. Brown. But for Mr. Brown's this disgraceful comments to be posted by the PNP tells me that that is the PNP's position. The party that we all support, you and I, have not responded to it yet. Someone called me from overseas to tell me, to tell Jamaica that Marco Rubio may be president. I am just delivering the word. They told me that they listened to the Hello Neighbor show, and I am to tell Jamaica that Marco Rubio is one of the favorites to win the presidency of the United States after Donald Trump. And we must be careful. And you know, I mourn for my people in Jamaica because they are not understanding the issues. They don't understand. And this despicable group of comrades have no interest in Jamaica. The only interest they have is to retake power so that they can continue the destruction of the Jamaican society. The road to Singapore now looks bleak because of the PNP. And if you know what we need to protest about, you know what we really need to protest about? Senator Lambert Brown, at yesterday's sitting of the Senate, I'm reading from the PNP, raised concerns about the government's approach to the proposed arrangement under the TCN framework, arguing that Jamaica's interests must always come first. He questioned whether the country is prioritizing foreign interests over its own people and called for greater accountability and transparency on decisions that could impact Jamaica's future. You know what could impact on the future? Western Union, MoneyGram, Lasco, and all the places on pick up remittance. And that are going to influence on the future. You know what is going to influence on the future? Visa restrictions. You know what is going to influence on the future? When America doesn't no longer considers us its friend, but hostile. And I want to remind you listening to me that, and I'm going to do a program on this, this is one of the only countries in the world where women could not get stay free when they were having periods. To buy a pack of stay free at a time in Jamaica, when we went into the crosshairs of the United States, women had to be using cloth. And I remember my mother sent me to shop to buy sugar. And the man tell me, say, I couldn't get the sugar. And I said, why, sir? This I said, to buy sugar, you had to buy something else. Imagine that. That, you know, that we under the PNP, we came down to a place in Jamaica where we were marrying goods on the shelves. And listen to the irresponsible PNP amplifying Lambert's Brown absurdity. Listen to them and tell me if you are not concerned, and tell me if this don't deserve a protest. Okay, go ahead. Take the volume out.
This bill to me appear to be preference of foreigners. It's the same approach.
But Senator Brown, with the greatest of respect, how can
that's my opinion.
Oh, I'm asking though.
Well,
how
let me
can
speak
civil
and then we can
aviation
talk.
say?
Remember, you know, they were not speaking about TCN. They were speaking about civil aviation. That was the bill to be debated. The bill. You know, I heard a tape this morning. I wish I could play it. I have some bad word in it, but let me know if I can play it, producer, because it just. Would you accept two Jamaican clot? Would you accept two Jamaican clot just to drive this point home? The PNP is not for Jamaica. It is not. You know, because bad word, man. My producer is telling me no. No, bad word that cost you. This is ridiculous. This is about they were not discussing the third country nationals. They are discussing civil aviation. And listen to Mr. Brown. This is the PNP's position now, you know, because this is the PNP putting it out on their own page.
How can civil aviation safety be aimed at foreigners?
Let me talk what I want to talk.
Let me talk what I want to talk. President Tavares Finson, the debate is about civil aviation. How you mean I want to talk what I want to talk? You can't talk what you want to talk. And look at what he went on to talk. Look at what he went on to say. I tell you, I got a call from someone in the United States who told me that Jamaica is walking a tight rope. And we must be very careful. What is this that the PNP is doing to Jamaica? The same PNP that send us a shop go buy half pound of rice. The same PNP that make woman in Jamaica couldn't find party when they must in period. PNP, you know, wicked or something. When we gonna do this to the country? Why are the comrades doing this to us? What? And you know, Jamaica, the live is inactive, moderator. We have to take a break and moderator, the live is inactive. Guys, please, we have to get some taps now. Some taps and please tap and share, please. Let's see if we can get rid of this inactivity on the live. You have to tap and share for me, please. Are they gonna lock us down on TikTok? Hurry up, please put something in the comment. Send a gift or something. Let me go over to YouTube and tell me if you're hearing me good, Sheffreen. Tell me. Oh, let me get a drink here and I'll come right back to you. Thank you so much. Oh.
It's not a good neighbor.
Let me get a drink. Okay, thank you. Tap and share for me, please. Help us out. Send some roses and some. What can you say? What can you say? All right. I love you. Thank you so much for all your gifts. Thank you for your support. Please also remember that you can sponsor the program or you can make a contribution to our program. The Zelle account is 954-635-8732. That's the Zelle account, 954-635-8732. Register your support for the program before you leave tonight, okay? Register your support. I think TikTok is deleting comments. Well, let them delete. Listen to Senator Brown.
You can come into the debate if you want. Just like the preference, the rejection of Jamaican coming back from the UK, we are seeing a government showing a preference.
It is a despicable comment by a senator. It is unworthy even to be played on media. I am only playing it so that my listeners understand the struggle of this government. There has to be a motive and there has to be a response. Something is going wrong. We're not at a good place. The strategy of the PNP is appearing to be clear. Mash it up. Mash it up. You know, Mr. Omar Davis told a PNP executive, you know, I think he was speaking to a meeting of the comrades and he said, comrades, run with it, because it's better to be inside here solving the problem than to be outside wondering how Mr. Siaga is solving it. So, run with it. It appears as if the PNP has given instruction to run with it. Run with the lies. Run with the propaganda. Run with mashing up Jamaica. And we fix it when we come in. Well, let me tell the PNP something. There are more people in Jamaica that have chosen Jamaica than are supporting the PNP. And I know that as a fact. There are more people in Jamaica that have chosen their country than have chosen the People's National Party. And probably that is the problem. Maybe the real problem that the PNP is having is a genuine fear that they are losing the next election, that the fourth term seems to be on. But that's democracy. You can't fight against democracy, you know, guys. If the people decide that they want to keep this government, don't fight that. Because I don't understand why is this fierce battle to pull down Jamaica. But you know, now go win, you know. We're not going to win. And we can we can make this a little difficult for you guys, you know. But we are easy with self. Politics plus we are easy with self a little bit.
Asking everyone to tap the screen, share the live, repost the live, send the heart me's, and please keep the comment section very active. Thanks.
A war we no want, a war we not go get. A war we no want, a war we not go get. Because the struggle for this progress that Jamaicans have sacrificed to make will not go in vain. We used to suck salt through a wooden spoon, and we now suck them up. We now suck them up salt, you know. We're not reversing the progress we have made over the last 10 years or so. We are not sacrificing. We will not sacrifice it for no politics, under no circumstances will it ever be sacrificed. And don't think that we don't have no plans. Don't think we don't have no plans to combat the nonsense. We not play checkers. We are playing chess. And there's a move that is about to be made. There's a move that is about to be made that will put you no further into a tailspin. You ain't seen nothing yet. By the way, did you guys know that Angela Brownberg called the speaker a bully? Angela Brownberg referred to Mrs. Holness as a bully. Mrs. Holness told the speaker that she is a bully. As a matter of fact, the comment is, look up there for the bully. That is where the bully is seated. That is from Miss Angela Brownberg. Miss Brownberg. We will have some more to say on that. Listen to Lambert.
To foreigners over Jamaica. I choose Jamaica. For you, choose Jamaica is a slogan. For you, choosing Jamaica is a slogan. For me, it's reality. Why are you bringing to Jamaica the most despicable, pedophiles, and dangerous people that
Senator
you know you?
Senator.
There you go. Outrage, anger in Jamaica. That's all that is about. That the government of Jamaica is bringing pedophiles or pedophiles, child molesters. Rile up Jamaicans. Get the people angry. And the PNP will fix it. I tell you, it is a sad, very sad reflection on the people part of the People's National Party. And you know they know better.
Listeners, you are not tapping the screen. It's important you tap the screen, please.
They know better, but they don't want to do better. Rile up the people. Exploit the ignorance of Jamaicans. And then the Minister of National Security is out, have to be out saying that the people have no land in a... Anyway, let me see if I can take a call and come back. Let me take a call. The Sunday Review. Good evening, good afternoon to you, Winston. Good afternoon to you. Hello. Welcome to the Sunday Review. Good afternoon. Hi.
Hi, Winston. Good evening.
This bill to me,
Go ahead, sir.
appear to be preference for foreigners. It's the same approach.
But Senator Brown, with the greatest of respect, how can
That's my opinion.
I'm asking though.
Well,
How
let me
can
speak
civil
and then we can
aviation
talk
safety?
afterward.
How can civil
Let
aviation
me talk
safety
about.
be aimed at foreigners?
Let
Where you
me
getting-
talk
where you
what
get
I
this
want
thing
to
from?
talk. You can come into the debate if you want. Just like the preference, the rejection of Jamaican coming back from the UK. We are seeing a government showing a preference to foreigners over Jamaica. I choose Jamaica. For you, choose Jamaica is a slogan. For you, choosing Jamaica is a slogan. For me, it's reality. Why are you bringing to Jamaica?
All right. Before we go to Winston, Ascot Primary did not allow students who did poorly, you know that word poorly, in their PEP exam to wear graduation gowns. Ascot Primary did not allow the students who did poorly in their PEP exams to wear graduation gowns. Now, I raised the matter here on Friday and I have been criticized for it. I won't repeat it because I don't want to stir no more controversy. But here is the Ministry of Education strongly denouncing the actions of the leadership of Ascot Primary following reports that students were not allowed to wear graduation gowns because they were not proficient in the recent PEP exams. Good God Almighty. Huh? You want to tell me that a school in Jamaica, you know what it means for, by the way, it's not correct, you see, to talk about graduation at primary schools. Those are not graduations. When you send your child to prep school or basic school or prep, not even high school, it's not a graduation. Graduation is normally related to tertiary education. So we should stop this. It's school leaving exercise. It's not a graduation. A primary school can't keep a graduation. and I'm going to tell you something. There is a psychology behind it, you know, because when you put on a gown, it should mean that you have completed your studies and you are now proficient. So you have graduated. We should not be having graduations at primary schools and prep school. You put in prep school picnic in a gown. That is a misfit. It's not proper. It's not correct. But we do it, so we do it. But the Ascot Primary School is refusing to put students in their graduation goals because they were not proficient in their PEP exam. What type of nonsense is that? And they have been rebuked by the Minister of Education. The Jamaica Labour Party has put out a statement about what Mr. Lambert Brown said. I'm taking a listen to it. I hope I can get it played for you. Let me see if I can find it.
The most despicable.
That's Mr. Brown. That's Mr. Brown. Listen to him again.
About this bill. This bill to me appeared to be preference for foreigners. It's the same approach.
But Senator Brown, with the greatest of respect, how can
that's my opinion.
I'm asking though.
Well, let me speak and then we can talk afterwards.
How can civil aviation
let me
safety
talk about,
be aimed at foreigners?
Let me talk what I want to talk. You can come into the debate if you want. Just like the preference, the rejection of Jamaican coming back from the UK, we are seeing a government showing a preference to foreigners over Jamaica. I choose Jamaica. For you, choose Jamaica is a slogan. For you, choosing Jamaica is a slogan. For me, it's reality. Why are you bringing to Jamaica the most despicable, pedophiles, and dangerous people that
Senator
your MOU has brought?
Senator Brown, I have to turn off your mic. Why is the government...
All right. Now, the Jamaica Labour Party, Senator Marlon Morgan, has rejected the false allegations made by the PNP's Lambert Brown and made it clear that Jamaica's interests remain protected. Here is the
country into thinking.
Here is the
what Lambert Brown has alleged is false, and he knows it. The ministers responsible for information and national security, respectively, have been very clear. Jamaica has expressly indicated that no individual with criminal antecedents will be accepted into the island under the agreement regarding asylum seekers. This has been outlined unequivocally and reiterated on several occasions. In a most egregious, reckless, and vulgar display, however, Lambert Brown sought to mislead the country into thinking otherwise. We reject the misleading allegation from Brown and the PNP and reaffirm that the government has been diligent in protecting Jamaica's best interest. The Memorandum of Understanding regarding asylum seekers, which the United States has agreed with over 20 territories in the region, seeks to facilitate the temporary transit of a limited number of people who will be on their way to their home country. The agreement sees Jamaica numbering among a raft of countries to agree to assist Jamaica's traditionally close ally and major trading partner of the United States in an endeavor which paid due regard to safeguarding the national security and the general well-being of the Jamaican people. Any suggestion to the contrary from the PNP and their surrogates is false and politically contrived to stir fear among our citizens on the basis of false and reckless allegations which have no merit and are indeed not grounded in truth.
Okay, I think that's the response from the Jamaica Labour Party, coming from Senator Marlon Morgan. Okay, well, let me go to Winston and see what he has to say before I come back. I think I have one or two more stories that I want to cover. Good evening to you, Winston. What's on your mind?
Yes, neighbor.
Hold on. Go ahead.
You know, neighbor, lying here and listening to you now.
Yes.
I'm telling you, neighbor, I not even know where to start, neighbor.
Oh.
Honestly, I don't know where to start. More than I can just simply say that Jamaica is in a serious crisis.
No, I don't think we are in a crisis in that regard, Winston. I think we are pretty okay. I think the crisis is about the misinformation coming out of the opposition PNP.
That's what I'm talking about, neighbor.
But I get the sense that only their supporters are listening to them, you know. And the rest of the country seems to be moving on.
But neighbor, listen. Jamaica as a country, neighbor, cannot exist in a vacuum.
Yes.
We cannot stand on our own as a country and survive.
Yes.
We have international obligation as a country. The United States of America is a friend to Jamaica.
Yes.
Right? It is our largest trading partner.
Yes.
It is the home to majority of our native people. Right? It is the largest contributor to our GDP.
Yes.
It is the largest contributor to just about everything in Jamaica. And so therefore, neighbor, when, let's say, a third of the country is so up in arms of destroying the name of Jamaica. Neighbor, this is the internet, neighbor. The internet is global.
Yes.
Neighbor, this is not the 90s or the 80s when somebody call and a talk radio show and talk crap, you know. This is the internet.
Yes.
So every world leader or people in government have an opportunity to hear the nonsense that is coming out of Jamaica.
And to hear it instantly.
And hear it instantly. This man is a senator.
Yes.
A senior senator, a legislator, a man that passed laws in the upper house.
Yes.
And making these statements, neighbor, without thinking about the repercussion.
What is even more disappointing, sir, is that the PNP has reposted them. In other words, the PNP endorses Lambert Brown's comments.
Yes, neighbor, because neighbor,
I can't understand.
PNP supporters, this is their view.
Yes.
It is the view of the PNP. It is the view of the leader of the PNP. Because if Mark Golin was against the views of Lambert Brown, he would have come out, he would have held a press conference and said, listen, this is not the view of the People's National Party.
Yes. Agree with you, sir.
So neighbor, let me tell you something, neighbor. It is a psychological warfare that is taking place here. It is about discrediting Jamaica's good name in the international arena because you know we have a very impulsive president in America, and any negative views from our side can cause a reaction. And one stroke of a pen to pass an executive order, neighbor, can cripple the Jamaican.
You are suggesting you are saying that the PNP is probably hoping that will happen, sir?
Yes, neighbor. Yes, neighbor. And at the same time,
hold on. You are saying that the PNP. You are saying that the people's. You are saying, sir. Hold on. You are saying that the People's National Party by their rhetoric, is hoping that America will respond negatively to Jamaica and Jamaicans will start to suffer? That's what you are saying to me?
It started to suffer, neighbor.
That's what you are saying to me, sir?
To suffer. Yes, neighbor, exactly. Exactly is what the PNP is about.
I saw them bad.
And that's why you see
hold on. I saw them bad, sir. I saw the PNP bad. Hold on. I can't believe what you're saying. I can't believe what you're saying.
Because all them think about now, if they can get the people to turn against the government and the government collapse, then they will try and repair.
Winston, you're a man that I respect, and I respect your views.
Likewise, neighbor.
Are you saying to me, Winston, that you are suspecting, and you're a deep political thinker? Are you saying to me that the PNP is deliberately doing this for Jamaica to suffer?
Neighbor. It's deliberate, neighbor. It's deliberate. Neighbor, let me tell you, for the first time in my 52 years on this earth, the name Jamaica, the brand Jamaica, is being talked of in the international community in a positive sense. Jamaica is on the right path. It's on a trajectory to become a stronger country. The PNP know that if this should happen, neighbor, the PNP is dead. Scratchy says sometime to you that the PNP is only relevant in crisis. Only relevant in crisis. If the Jamaican electorate, neighbor, was intelligent, if we were intelligent, well-thinking, practical people, the PNP would be irrelevant. Nobody at all in their right mind would not speak of the PNP in any positive sense because of their track record over the years.
Yes, Winston, but you have me.
Neighbor,
Hold on, you have me. Hold on. Please take time with me. Me getting old. You have me thinking here, and I'm a little worried because I never saw that. Are you saying to me, sir, that what is happening here is by design to hurt Jamaica?
By design to hurt Jamaica.
The PNP wants the PNP wants to hurt.
At a very convenient time because the president of America is very impulsive. He's reactionary.
Winston, Winston, you serious?
Absolutely, neighbor. Absolutely. I have no doubt in what I'm saying.
I'm speechless.
So, neighbor, when you hear these things are happening, neighbor, destroy the image of Jamaica. Let us fall out with Washington and let the impulsive president pass an executive order to cripple the Jamaican economy. And then the people will rise up and you will have anarchy in the street and the PNP will become relevant. That's it. There's no other way. There's no other way, neighbor. So that's why I said to you that we are in a deep crisis. It is good, neighbor. Let me tell you, neighbor, I am a student of Mutty Perkins. And Mutty Perkins exit this world a very sad man. Meaning that for how many decades he had on talk radio, he believes that he failed to make the Jamaican people become critical thinkers. You are filling that slot and trying the same thing. But I know, neighbor, it is an uphill task. It is an uphill task, neighbor. We are suffering as a people from the congregational syndromes where we do not research things for ourselves. But whatsoever passed on from to us, we are people like to be spoken to. Not spoken of, but spoken to.
Spoken with. Spoken with.
Spoken with. Yeah, we don't like to have a conversation with deep analysis and come to a logical conclusion. We are not that type of people, neighbor. We like to be told. what is what, without even researching if what the person sent to you is credible. So neighbor, your task and Caroline is a uphill task. I know that you and Scratchy and Enriquez is doing a marvelous job.
Well, thank you.
Neighbor, I wish you all the best that you will overcome.
But you have disturbed my Sunday peace, Winston. You got me worried. Hey, Winston.
Neighbor, I wish that this wasn't true, you know, neighbor. I wish that this wasn't true. But it's a sad reality, neighbor. This is the sad reality. When I listen to Kay Hasburn, utterances, neighbor, this is a woman usually be, I think she was what, the general manager of TVJ at one stage?
Yes.
And the PJ Patterson, neighbor, we were the laughing stock of democracy in the world. Corruption, unlawfulness, everything that is in the negative, it was the hallmark of Jamaica. We were the vice of Kay Hasburn. When our debt was ballooning out of control and everything about our macroeconomic fundamentals was in the red, we were the vice of Kay Hasburn, a well-educated woman. We were the saving vice in those times. It was only Mutty Perkins. It was only Mutty Perkins. He was sidelined. He was ostracized. He was basically shut out. At one stage, Mutty Perkins not even get an advertisement on his radio program.
Yes.
Because he was the lone voice crying out that what the PNP is doing is going to wreck Jamaica.
Yes. They tell me something. I saw the PNP. I saw the PNP with a wicked. I saw the PNP with a wicked. I saw the PNP with a wicked that they would have want to Jamaica to crumble so that they could. I saw them wicked.
Neighbor, the ideology of Mike and Manley, D.K. Duncan, Dudley Thompson, and others are still live and well today. That Jamaica must be a one-party state, and that party should be the PNP. That agenda is still live and kicking in the PNP.
Yeah,
the PNP
sorry.
The PNP believe that they have a God-given will.
Listeners, I am flabbergasted. I'm shocked to hear this coming from Winston, because I'm a student of philosophy, and I never saw this. And as I'm sitting here, I'm thinking he may be right, and this is why I'm shocked. He may very well be correct. That the PNP knows that this could hurt Jamaica, but they don't care.
They don't care. They don't care, neighbor. All we are here talking about, they love Jamaica. They don't care. They don't care. Neighbor, we have an healthy NIR and growing. What these PNP is all about is for the two FinSac creators to come back in government and to pursue a policy that will enrich them even more. Of high interest rate, no accountability, no transparency, no good governance. That's how the PNP reign. That's how the PNP stay relevant. But every man do as they have a like. You know, neighbor, we were once time in this country, at a stage, where if the government finds some money to do, let's say, a kilometer road, the people will not rejoice about the effectiveness of the road, and the ease of the motorist burden, What the people rejoice about is how much food they eat off of such project, how much gas oil that is being stolen and sold. That's what the people will call eat a food. So this government is changing all of that, neighbor. So the government is being aided. It is not about the value, neighbor, what the government is doing. It is not about the 109 Park Road in one calendar year that is given to the Jamaican people for their tax dollar. What is about how much gas oil you can hustle, or how much name can they on the payroll when not employed on the project. So these are the reality, neighbor, that must be speak of. And that becomes a part of our thinking, of our culture, of our behavior. People do not vote for a member of parliament who will come and say, listen, you must be upright citizen. You must pay your utility bill. You must upskill yourself and get a job and can pay your taxes. And so the government can provide the services that you require.
Hold on for me, Winston. Don't leave there just yet. Hold on there for me. What a fascinating conversation this is with Winston. Listeners, if you are just joining us, you're tuned in to the Hello Neighbor Review Sunday show. And it's fascinating to hear. We'll go with you until 9 o'clock. We started at just about 6 o'clock. And we want to say to you, continue to tap and share the screen. Tap the screen, share the live. If you're on TikTok, if you're on YouTube, please remember that backup page is very, very important that you go and subscribe. Subscribe to the backup channel, Politics Plus Jamaica. Take a minute and just go over there and subscribe to Politics Plus Jamaica. We'll be happy that you do that. If you are on X, welcome. If you're on Patreon, welcome to the Politics Plus network. This is the Hello Neighbor Sunday Review, and we have our producer Caroline with us. Shefreen is the lady behind the glass, and member Harry is joining us. Member, good afternoon, good evening to you.
Good evening, neighbor.
Good evening, member. How are you doing?
I'm not too bad, you know.
I am flabbergasted, member. I wonder if you can help me to unravel this that I'm just hearing here. You want to say something on it, or you want to say something else?
Well, I've been listening to Lambert, bro, neighbor. I think he's just playing into the same narrative of the People's National Party. So some things that they can't explicitly come out and say, he can do it because he's on his way out. So there's no political repercussions for him. So they can actually piggyback on it. But I think what they're trying to do is the perception of reality. The saying that the perception of reality is more real than reality itself. Now, what that really does and what it means is that when it is put out, and the more it is put out in volume, it doesn't have to be true. And most oftentimes it's not necessarily true. But it's put out so much and it is in the faces of the people that it really causes that confirmation bias. And our minds selectively, neighbor, filter information to confirm those very things that we see. When the truth is, it's not what the reality is. So, for example, this perception that persons are suffering in the West and that Jamaica is in a doom and gloom situation, that is not the reality, right? It is a narrative, however, that is being pushed to say as if the government is not doing its job, as if they're not efficient and effective enough. And Lambert Brown went low when he said what he made the statement he did, because we all know that whatever was said was out of context and also was blatant lies, because Jamaica is not accepting any pedophiles and those type of persons, neighbor. In fact, none of the TCN countries, 23 of them to be exact, thus far, and more to come, has ensured that they don't take those specific persons, right? Because it would have been against their very laws of the land or laws of their own countries. The latest that signed and I spoke about it was St. Kitts and Nevis. And that was number one for them. So it would be very foolish that the government would have accepted these type of people. And you and I know they would have given us a transparency. Dr. Chan came out and gave all the information. So what Lambert Brown is doing is trying to put a narrative forward, Neighbour, and try to cement it in the emotions of the people. Sensationalism, if I may put it that way, right? To give a reality that does not exist. And knowing how the psychology of people work, especially those who don't read and those who lack critical thinking, which is a large portion of Jamaica, right? They will not go out and try to look for something that makes sense. With the fact that this is coming from a so-called senator for how many years? Roughly about 14 going 15 years now, 2012 to now. They will run with it and take it as gospel, because how can this person be standing in our parliament making up such a lie? It is unbelievable.
No.
Are unable to understand.
Yeah, isn't it more concerning that the People's National Party have posted the said comment on their page, the party? So we move away from Lambert Brown now to the People's National Party. Remember, the Senate president is asking whether or not this is the position of the party. Now, if it was not the position of the party would by now have come out to say, we do not agree with Lambert Brown, but the party has doubled down on it. Is Winston even remotely correct to suggest that the PNP may be very well hoping for negative repercussions from this?
Well, Winston did hit the nail on the head in a Neighbour to a large
He
degree.
did?
Yeah, because look at it this way, especially when it comes on to the geopolitics that we've seen. There's evidence to support the claim. Here's why. When we were at the UN, we didn't vote, right? But the People's National Party stance was that we should have selected one of the parties to stand by, and they stated who they would have stood by. That would have been a political and one for Jamaica. So not just for the party, for Jamaica Labour Party, but also for the country itself. Jamaica itself would have now been probably placed on a list, and we would have been in a geopolitical pickle that we would have probably need a couple more sensible terms and proper leaders to get out of. Because if I double back to what Manley did, we suffered for over a decade because of that, And had we done the same thing, right? Had we go ahead and take a stance, look at the type of aid and the countries that gave us aid when Melissa hit, right? Keep that in mind. Had we took that irresponsible stance, Neighbour, we would have been in problem. So the People's National Party does not have the best interest at heart for the Jamaican people on the international stage, and anything that can create an opening for them as a party first, not as government, as a party first, because there's not much scraps even there to be feed off when it comes on to government standpoint, right? This government they've not been flawless, right? Because there's still room for growth and so on, and it's early days yet. But they've done so well thus far, and the People's National Party have failed to even put one thing forward for us to adapt. So they're now looking for any loophole or create a hole, fling a wrecking ball in the side of the wall if they must, just to say and get an aha moment. To say, see there, this government don't care for Jamaicans. This government wants this to happen to Jamaica. That is the moment they're looking for. And they will do anything to create it as well. And that makes them dangerous for democracy. Not even to just government, but overall framework of democracy, they're very dangerous for it.
Scratchy, let me hear you on this. Scratchy?
Yes, Neighbour.
Let me hear you on this Scratchy. I got a call out of the United States to say that we ought to be careful what we are doing here. Scratchy, is it true that this could likely be a strategy of the PNP to hurt Jamaica's interests?
don't think never it will work out in that way to hurt Jamaica interests, because we all know the power neighbor that the US will neighbor, both military and from an economic standpoint neighbor. Even Mark Gold, the leader of the PNP, one pronouncement neighbor, when he was asked if it was him as the Prime Minister, would he deny America this request, you know? And you know, based on what he said, basically said no, that, you know, they were negotiating and everything. So I don't think I think the PNP is just playing on the emotions of their supporters, neighbor. Just trying to keep the PNP of a mission, neighbor. That mission is to rally up them base, neighbor, and keep them base active going right up to the next election. To give them base the impression as if they are making strides and they're making inroads and they are speaking about issues or things that serve the best interests of their neighbor. So I don't see it causing any form of issue or any form of problem, neighbor. And I also go further. I think one of the reasons, neighbor, why Lambert Brown can make certain statements, neighbor, and it still seems like it was some form of relevance, is as a result sometimes to neighbor of whatever. Of all neighbor answering whatever out there, neighbor. I don't think neighbor in the first part, I don't think the government in the government response it was in a way, neighbor, it was answered in a way. And the government response was set out in a way, neighbor, where it would have just clamped and silent everything, neighbor. I think the government response needed a bit more clarity, you know, because I think the whole thing exploded, neighbor, when time the video of Marco Rubio started circulating, you know, talking about the type of persons who they are sending. Now, we have to also understand, neighbor, that it is the norm, neighbor, for the US president, neighbor, and Marco Rubio, neighbor, without any evidence, neighbor. This is how they normally talk about these persons who are trying to enter the US. So I think, neighbor, in the government response, the government should have also made mention of that, Mr. Rubio.
But the government can't talk for Rubio, Scratchy.
Exactly, exactly. I'm saying to talk for Rubio to say that okay, yes, Rubio can say whatever Rubio wants to say, but in our negotiations, in our memorandum,
we know who we are taking. We know who we are taking.
Yeah, yes, neighbor, we know who we are taking, but at the same time, neighbor, the persons out there need clarity. So I think maybe, neighbor, at some point in time, to bait this argument, the government might have to release certain levels of the memorandum of understanding, neighbor, so that persons can see what are the points in the memorandum of understanding to make it to show that it is abundantly clear that we are not taking anyone with any criminal antecedents or anything like that. So I think that's not the best. That's the last message for the government.
You don't think that the government has sufficiently made that argument?
No, I don't think so.
Okay,
that's my point.
There is a news report coming out this weekend that the people were already here and were staying at some Airbnb. I think a media house has actually released that. They actually sent reporters there. Do you know about that story?
Yes, I saw it.
Tell us a little bit about that. What happened there?
I think, neighbor, that it is some, again, neighbor, misinformation. I think it's somewhere down there in St. Mary, neighbor, where persons are saying that the TSNs or whatever they call them, neighbor, are in the country already and they are staying at this specific location. They are staying at this specific Airbnb location. And your neighbor reach a level where the location, neighbor, receives some form of threat of arson.
Yes.
Stuff like that, neighbor. Persons are threatening to burn down the Airbnb because persons even in and around that community are saying that they don't want these persons in their community. They don't want to be living among these rapists, these so-called whatever they call them. So, again, misinformation, neighbor, on the part of the PNP surrogates.
Yes.
The minister came out and made it abundantly clear that no TSN, whatever they call it, is currently on the island. They're still trying to find, neighbor, the fine print of the whole thing, of where this person will be staying and stuff like that. So,
but why is the government continuing to put out press releases? Let me read what the ministry has put out. The Ministry of National Security and Peace is dismissing as false and misleading the assertions made during the television Jamaica primetime news broadcast on June 25th that third country nationals will be housed in the parish of St. Mary. So TVJ published that?
It was published by one of the major news broadcasters, Neighbour. So sad.
Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of National Security and Peace, Honorable Dr. Horace Chang, reiterates that the government of Jamaica has not approved the transfer of any third country nationals to any location in Jamaica at this time. There is no third country national in Jamaica at this time, and the government has no arrangements for housing TCN in St. Mary. Any housing arrangements for TCNs are the responsibility of the International Organization for Migration, Dr. Chang said. There will be no transfer until the required operational procedures are finalized. Therefore, the video circulating online misrepresents the government's stated position and risks causing unnecessary public concern, he continued. The ministry further reminds the public that Jamaica maintains full sovereignty over all decisions related to the program. Members of the public are therefore encouraged to verify information through official government sources and to refrain from sharing unsubstantiated claims that may mislead the public or undermine confidence in the official communication. The ministry will continue to provide timely and accurate updates as necessary. But this is not sufficient from the ministry. Scratchy Harry. If TVJ is misleading the people of Jamaica, then the ministry should ask them to withdraw it immediately and apologize.
Exactly, Neighbour. Not definitely not sufficient, Neighbour. So that's what I'm saying, Neighbour. That the message, Neighbour, that is coming, Neighbour, in regards to these third country nationals, Neighbour. It is not connecting to a certain level, Neighbour. There's still a certain misunderstanding or a certain mishap, it's like everyone who speaks on it, Neighbour, give a different understanding of it. It is not being sent from one tune and one understanding. We understand it and know where it is, Neighbour, but certain persons who don't understand it might be saying that one person is saying this and the next person is saying that. So, and I think, Neighbour, even in situations like this, Neighbour, yes, it is good for the ministry to come out and speak, Neighbour, but if I was a minister, Neighbour, and I make a release in regards to this, Neighbour, I would ask the owners or the operators of this Airbnb, Neighbour, to come out, Neighbour, and also speak on their own personal behalf as well, because sometimes, Neighbour, when the message is only coming from us, our persons who are aligned to the situation, Neighbour, sometimes it doesn't help in calling what is going on, because if I'm being accused of something, and I am the one who always have to be coming out and saying something with being accused, sometimes it's not going to sing as a good song to certain people. Sometimes it's going someone from a neutrality to come out of. I think
but hold on, Scratchy. The Gleaner and TVJ are of the same company. The Gleaner came out and spoke about 10,000 TCNs or deportee deal. And now TVJ is running with a story that don't exist. Don't exist.
This is how media houses operate, Neighbour. And this is the thing with media houses, Neighbour. All they will do, Neighbour, will be asked to retract their statement. Because, as you know, Jamaica Constitution, Neighbour, in terms of defamation, Neighbour, protects media houses and protects journalists, Neighbour, in a certain way, Neighbour, where it's much more harder to put defamation lawsuits against these people than a regular person, you know. So again, Neighbour, that's another blunder. This is what the PNP also want, Neighbour. So any community now, Neighbour, any community that these third country nationals, whenever they arrive, Neighbour, they are going to come. This is the style that you're going to see. This is what you're going to see from the citizens and residents of those communities. They're going to come out and rebel against them, Neighbour, because the PNP has muddied the water, and this is what the PNP wanted, Neighbour.
Don't you think, Scratchy, that it doesn't matter what the government does at this time? The fact that the Gleaner planted in the minds of Jamaicans that this arrangement is a negative, and Lambert Brown and the PNP have doubled down on it. Don't you think that in our society, it doesn't matter what the government does, this is not going to be one that this public is going to support?
Before, Neighbour, it was before the government came out, Neighbour, and the government made its announcement, Neighbour, and government was rebutting what was going on. I think, Neighbour, that a lot of persons were getting a slight understanding and saying, okay, these are the persons who the government say are coming, okay. But I think, Neighbour, that what caused the issue, Neighbour, is when that Marco Rubio clipping, Neighbour, started to recircle, Neighbour. That clipping of Marco Rubio speaking, Neighbour, I think that is where neighbor, the whole thing neighbor gets stirred up again, neighbor, and person started to look now and say, the government is lying. How come the government tell we say this and the government tell we say that? But Marco Rubio is saying this and Marco Rubio is saying that. Not knowing that the Marco Rubio statement was made from how long ago before this deal came in place with the government, and the government might have made it clear in their memorandum of understanding. Yes, we are willing to help you, United States of America, as our great partners, but at the same time, helping you, I want to make sure that whoever you're sending to Jamaica are not persons who have any form of antecedents, any form of criminal background.
And you are saying that the Jamaican people are incapable of understanding what a tape that is current from one that is long time. We are incapable of understanding facts and truth. We don't business with that.
Yeah, they don't business with that, neighbor. Someone as powerful, neighbor, out of the US government, as a Marco Rubio said, neighbor, that is what they're going to run with. And they're going to say, okay, the government is a liar. The government said this, and look what the US said. So that is what they're trying to run with.
And you don't think that these are largely supporters of the PNP comrades?
Definitely, neighbor. Definitely. These are definitely supporters of the People's National Party, neighbor. These are diehard supporters of the People's National Party who are running with this, neighbor. They just want their point, neighbor, to have some form of valuation. They just want their point, neighbor, to stick. So that whenever these third country nationals come to Jamaica, neighbor, whichever community or wherever these third country nationals are going to be housed, neighbor, the PNP muddy the water already, neighbor, that these persons who come down, neighbor, they are going to be stigmatized, neighbor. They're gonna, a large stigma is gonna be put on these people. When the persons are gonna look down on these persons are gonna come and say that we don't want these persons in our community. We don't want, so it's gonna create some form of ruckus, neighbor. And I think, neighbor, this is where collaboration come in, neighbor. And I think one of the main things, neighbor, that should have collaborated on this, neighbor, is that a statement, neighbor, should come from the US government, neighbor, from no less a place than the US Embassy, neighbor. I think the US Embassy, neighbor, must or should come out in the defense of the government and say that yes, despite our main diplomat Marco Rubio saying that Jamaica has renegotiated with us and tell us that they don't want the worst of the worst, and we'll be making sure that none of the persons who we are sending to Jamaica don't have any form of criminal antecedents. It's a collaborative effort, neighbor, and if the government of the day and the land, neighbor, is suffering as a result of this misinformation, I think the US government, neighbor, owes us that, neighbor, to clear the air. Just saying that, okay, this is a statement that might come from an institution that these persons might trust more than their own government. This is a statement that's coming from someone who might be seen with some form of level of neutrality. So I think the US Embassy, neighbor, can release a statement, neighbor, saying that none of these persons, to clarify what Marco Rubio said, that none of those persons who Marco Rubio spoke about will be coming to Jamaica as part of the TCN or the TCN program. It's simple as that.
Listeners, there is a sign at the top of the screen. Join, and we're asking the listeners to send heart knees. We are a little bit on the downside here on TikTok. We need some more activity on the page, so we're asking you to send a heart knee or as much as you can to keep the live active. Let's try and get this up to 400. The listeners are out there. Let's go for them. Come on, neighbor rights. Let's go 400 right now. Let's try and go for 400. The listeners are out there. Let's get the live out to them. Astute.
Yes, neighbor. Good afternoon.
Do you think we can correct this going forward, or do you think it is correctable?
It is correctable. However, when we look at the probability, it's an uphill task. Because when
where did it all go wrong here then?
First of all, it started with irresponsible journalism. And as you always put it, negative narrative framing on the part of the opposition, and manipulation of the populace by the use of propaganda milling through the media. So history has shown us that state media is one of the main tools that have always been used for propaganda spinning and the manipulation, thus manipulating the thoughts and the minds of the people. I will refer to 1938. Now, 1938, there was a film put out to espouse the virtues of Adolf Hitler and his nationalist ideal. And that is one of the reasons Adolf Hitler was seen as a great man at that time, and what he was doing was supported by so many that would have seen millions of innocent people massacred. So yes, neighbor, it is possible. It is also probable, but it is
okay. So let me try and interpret what I hear you saying so far. You are saying that there is a segment of the media that is aiding and abetting the PNP's narrative, which is designed to mislead, and this is for political reason. You are saying that there is a part of Jamaica's media that is assisting in that?
Oh, definitely.
Hold on.
Most definitely, neighbor.
You are saying that the media, that part of media that is the fourth estate, that is to give people information, to guide people, to hold power accountable. You are saying that they are part of the propaganda machinery that is at work?
Most definitely, neighbor. And the reason I can state this emphatically without fear is because it is evident. Because, for example, let us look on two most recent examples: the deportee deal headline and the news broadcasting that
TVJ
were in St. Mary. Yes. So the one with the cleaner about deportee deal, and the one with TVJ speaking about TCNs being housed in St. Mary.
Hold your point. I ask you. The government controls broadcasting licenses, don't they?
The Broadcasting Commission.
But the Broadcasting Commission is government.
Yes, but we're talking about the IC now.
Yes, but hold on. If TVJ broadcast on their station a false report that the government have TCN people in Jamaica staying in St. Mary, then that is something that should cost you some license.
There is an actual law that regulates that kind of thing. The Defamation Act of 1963 revised.
Yeah, well, despite the Defamation Act, media houses and journalists are protected and guided under the law same way in terms of Defamation Act. So
but not to report falsehood that is causing panic in the country.
False they report nearby, it doesn't equate to them losing their license or anything like that. I put them license in any form of risk. It doesn't do that. Whatever false they report, all the request that the Broadcasting Commission actually they have certain time or a certain day to retract them statement and make it public.
Has it been retracted by TVJ?
I am not sure, but I don't know the extent of the thing. I don't know. TVJ directly said that the TCs were living there, and TVJ said that, and it is alleged that they are living there.
But you said earlier that the people were exposed to violence. That's the people of the Airbnb were exposed to violence.
No, the persons who are living in the XB, there are threats of violence were made to them. That they're gonna arson the place and burn it down. Threats of violence.
But is it serious?
I will also say, neighbor, that the Jamaican Constitution, the freedom of expression and limits, while it creates somewhat of a barrier, it does not protect against defamation, slander, and harmful or misleading broadcasted content. It has the media should operate within the legal boundaries set out by the Jamaican Constitution, because the freedom of expression is not absolute. It protects one from being defamed, slandered, or any form of broadcasting that should lead to harmful or misleading content. So to me, it sounds like somebody's not doing their job. That's what it sounds like to me. So yes, the Defamation Act, as well in conjunction with the Broadcasting Commission regulations, while there's no criminal
go ahead, sir.
It can be criminalized. One can be sued. However, we haven't seen a retraction or any apologies. What is happening? Why is this so slow?
Here is Dr. Chang addressing that matter. Listen to him.
Location 11. The first of all, there has been an ongoing story about third country nationals in St. Mary. And firstly, there are no third country nationals in our country who have been sent here by anybody, by the United States government at all. In addition to that, they have indicated a particular pillar gave them the operation as a location 11. And they're saying that, of course, is totally false. However, the story as indicated on one of the 7:30 news is that Mr. Look, venue that they'll be host. We have no such arrangement, we have no discussion with the facility. In fact, nobody in the ministry is aware of it. I gather from protocol connection that it's an Airbnb facility. We have no discussion about putting anybody there and placing any immigrants in that facility. The story causing immigrant distress, and we're asking them to withdraw it because they have been threats sent to the facility to come to ask them to destroy the place. And there's significant backlash in the community about that. We have an MOU with the United States. First of all, there has been a...
Okay, so the Minister of National Security is saying that they have asked TVJ to withdraw it because there is a significant impact on the community of St. Mary because of this news report. Fascinating stuff. Hold on. Humble Calf, if you hello.
Hello.
Good evening to you.
Good evening. Good evening. I didn't see that you take me up in the box, but I'm here listening to you guys. I'm here listening to you guys. Very interesting conversation. Yeah, about the propaganda spreading. I think somebody's the point that the person made about the U.S. Embassy should come out. One of the officials should come out and speak to the public, the Jamaican public, and let them know that this is misinformation. That it's nothing goes like what they are saying. Even I was on a panel the other day, and the people on the panel were talking about the same thing. Right? So they can understand and I was there getting so cross with the people. Them and telling them those are misinformation. Stop going out and spreading propaganda and going getting yourself in a problem. Get the facts. Get your own information before you come on media and start talking a bag of foolishness. The clip with Marco Rubio was from last year, because I am in the US. I think the clip with Marco Rubio was from last year when they were cracking down on a lot of other nationals where they made a put in a plane and I send them go all over the place. And that clip was from last year, and they send back the clip, rerun back the clip and have it on the media. Jamaican people, sometimes I have to say, a lot of times we depend on some live, and I have to say some people, they're not reason with no intelligence. You can't tell them everything negative, then just run with it. No, and this conversation must be ongoing. That's the people them can know that the facts is there and it's not true.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, and I like the conversation. Very interesting. Yeah, I'm listening.
All right, you're a humble calf, ma'am.
Yes.
All right. Well, take care of yourself.
Yes, thanks. You too.
Yeah.
You know, neighbor.
Yes, sir.
And they allow us
No, of course.
K. Asburn.
Asking everyone to tap the screen, share the live, repost the live, and keep the comment section active, please.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, K. Asburn spoke of the 1.4 billion that the government has received through gifts from donors countries towards the hurricane relief program. She's not speaking of almost $70 billion that the government have already spent on tangible programs, things that you can see with your hands, with your eyes, things that you can hold on to. She's not speaking of that. In 1988, when we have Hurricane Gilbert, Jamaica received enough zinc that every household in Jamaica would get at least 20 sheets of zinc.
Is what you're saying to me? You got any?
No, never. And that's another story.
Hold on. You said that for Gilbert we received things that we could give everybody that Jamaica 20 sheets.
2.8 million Jamaicans could have get at least 50 sheets.
What are you saying to me?
Still live over. And 99% of the effective people in Jamaica who lost their roof, who lost the entire house in a Gilbert, did not get one sheet of those things. And up to today, the PMP can't account for what happened to those millions of sheets of zinc that we received. So the money is still there. The government, the Prime Minister, have outlined what the money will spend for. The government said the money will spend to do the base for the containerized houses. It will set up water system, sewage system, etc. for these houses. So the government outlined what the money will be spent for. The government also outlined how many money it has already spent. But K. Hasburn do not care anything about those information, because what they do want that the money was supposed to come to Jamaica and it becomes a free for all. And some might even end up in her pocket or her bank account. Because that's what the PMP used to. Everybody who in the inner circle of the PMP would handsomely benefited from such money. That's what they used to neighbor. So even though you see these people claim that they are educated and they are upright citizens, they are corruption. They are corrupter of the system. And they benefit immensely from the corruption that the PMP have practiced over the years when they are in government.
So what do you think of this stand up for Jamaica protest Tuesday morning?
Absolutely waste of time, neighbor. Because one more of those calls that will go unanswered.
You don't think that
the PMP low life will have nothing important to do through the man will be out there.
Well, I don't like the low life term, but
neighbor, sorry for that strong language, because I know that you're a man of honor. Sorry for that strong language.
Yes. But you are saying that it will not attract many.
Not many, neighbor. Not many. Absolutely not many. This one will just be a smoke screen like Marvin Look-O-Fire.
Yes. Oh my God. I guess they don't.
You know, neighbor. Neighbor. Let me tell you something, neighbor. Last year, leading up to the general election, when Westmoreland was facing a job, and this creative mind Jamaican decided that listen, he can cash in on the opportunity by investing in some water tanks.
Yes.
Using little truck, buy water and distribute water and sell water. And he and he has come out and tell a blatant lie on the man and his wife and his small business. Till the man business was being a threat to be destroyed. Right? Even the man life was a threat. And the man has to come out to the public and explain, show him receipt when thank them from the hardware that the man business never been attacked. And up to today, he and he have not come out and retract the statement nor apologize to the man. Neighbor, Jamaica is a lawless country. And he and he know that this man's business and life was in danger. And he not even care for life, even to come out and set the record straight and retract the statement when the evidence was laid on the table. So we know who the PNP are, neighbor. They are a set of irresponsible people, and even when people's life and property is at risk, they don't care. Because I am sure that this Airbnb premises that show in the TVJ, that these premises are the threat. People are threatening to literally burn down the people in premises.
Listen to the report from TVJ. Listen. I have it here.
Welcome back to this abbreviated version of Primetime News. And again, a special welcome to our viewers on TVJ International in the Cayman Islands and online at onespotmedia.com. First up this evening, they are not welcomed here. The sentiments of some St. Mary residents who are objecting to the temporary stay of third country nationals in the parish. Janella Precious has the details.
In Grandstown, St. Mary, there's a new topic dominating discussions in the home, places of recreation, and on the streets. TVJ News has learned it is here that some of the third country nationals will reside when they're deported from the United States. Residents are not pleased. So then if put them not in St. Mary, especially in Grandstown. Yeah,
this is a peaceful community, you understand? So if the deported them come here, we don't know where they come in our district, you understand?
Although the National Security Minister has said repeatedly that the third country nationals being sent to Jamaica from the U.S. are not criminals, but asylum seekers whose claims are yet to be determined by the United States, these residents are still uneasy about the strangers who will live among them.
We don't want no murderers. We don't want no rapists. We don't want no pedophiles here. We have enough of our own problems here where we can't control our own people, much as we can control outsiders. If they are skilled workers, that because we need skilled workers here, we will accept some of them.
If it was Jamaicans coming,
yes,
they could come.
It's because it's their home.
Yeah, it's their home, but it's not Jamaica. They are not Jamaican. When them up at the keep them up there.
The whole 14 parish need to come out and demonstrate on there.
It is unclear when the first batch of 25 third country nationals will arrive in Jamaica and whether they all will be staying in Grandstown. The government has been tight-lipped on the details, with the National Security Minister only stating that the agreement is being finalized. He, however, told Parliament last week that the United States will be funding their stay in Jamaica.
They're supposed to find out from the people. Same way like when you don't want the vote, you go around and want to talk to people, and want to get people this and get people. When you are going to bring things like that to the people, talk to the people, and find out how the people feel about certain things. You can't just push things for the people because we don't know say. No, we have said. And a full time for Jamaica unite and stand up for what they believe in.
Janella Precious, TVJ News.
Well, there you have it. There you have it. From
So Neighbour, from that report, you're listening to the ignorance of those residents. This is the objective of the PNP, to score cheap political points, because they know that they are appealing to the ignorant Jamaican who wanna read, who wanna listen well, who can't comprehend, who cannot analyze. They just run with soundbite. And these are the people, Neighbour, that will go to the people in premises and attack it, vandalize it, even cause
yeah, but TVJ,
that's why they want it, Neighbour.
TVJ is worse because TVJ is reporting that they have learned that the people are staying there. Where TVJ got that information?
Right.
Huh?
So you see, neighbor, remember some time ago, I told you that media in Jamaica is dead. Media in Jamaica is dead. Cardell Green play a very important role in the media landscape and the media industry.
Yes.
And have you hear Cardell Green come out and try to rein in any one of these media houses with misinformation? The Jamaican people must recognize that in any stable democracy, media is a vanguard of your democracy.
Yes.
Media is a vanguard of any country democracy.
And that's our business.
It's supposed to provide transparency.
That's our business to Winston. That's our business that must pay bills.
Yes, Kachi, so true. So true. So neighbor, these people don't mind us selling their soul, neighbor, for the PMP to form government. And neighbor, let me tell you something, neighbor. If we miss this boat, the boat will not return. If Jamaica miss this opportunity to develop this time and to see economic independence, this opportunity will never, in another 100 years, come back to our shore. And this is what the PMP want to derail.
Well,
this is what the PMP want to derail. The PMP cannot survive in a stable, strong democracy. A democracy where people are well learned, where people have information, where people are critical thinkers, where people hold their government accountable. The PMP cannot survive in such an environment. The PMP only can survive, neighbor, in a society like Jamaica, where madness is the order of the day.
Okay. I have to thank you here, Winston. Take care of yourself.
Yes, neighbor, you're welcome.
Okay. Hold on there, Harry. We're coming to you, Harry and Scratchy. We're going to do the weekly review. You just hold on there a little bit. Cleve, good evening. Hi. Cleve? No, Cleve is not there. What about Miguel Bailey? Not there either. Okay. All right. Okay. Miguel? Hello? Okay. Yeah, in the box and that even. Okay, guys. 22 minutes after 8 o'clock. Let's go to the biggest stories of last week. So Harry, what is your biggest story? Scratchy, do the same and Astute. Let's use the rest of the time to highlight the biggest news story and look at what is coming up in the stories for next week. Starting with you, Harry. What for you was the biggest story coming out of last week?
Well, Neighbour, I'll use some recency bias because I think the whole thing with Lambert Brown is going to run right through the weekend going into next week. So I'll place that as one of the highest one at the helm. There were others, I mean, especially in Parliament and so on, neighbor. But I'll go with the Lambert Brown one because what it did was also brought to the forefront the president for the Senate to also get involved. And while doing so, it shows another disrespect to the systems and frameworks that we have in Jamaica. And it shows that whatever it takes, the People's National Party are willing to do it, neighbor. Even if it means bring down frameworks and systems that have been long here before any of those persons. They're willing to sabotage it, they're willing to take it down, and they're willing to also point fingers at it as if it is not effective at doing its job.
All right, great. Scratchy, what was your big story?
Well, for me, neighbor, I think the biggest story for me, neighbor, was the FID, neighbor.
Uh-huh.
The correspondence letters, neighbor, between the Integrity Commission and the FID. I think one of my reasons, neighbor, for saying that was the biggest story for me. I mean, every other thing, neighbor, that happens, and we know those things, neighbor, but I think the reason why I classify it as my biggest story, neighbor, is because of how we have seen or heard persons talk about the Integrity Commission name in terms of their biasness towards the Jamaica Labour Party government and the government in power right now.
Yes.
And I think neighbor that the letter that was released, the correspondence that was released between themselves and FID neighbor, those neighbor definitely neighbor that there's definitely some level of truth neighbor to the Integrity Commission being biased neighbor. I think it was a very strongly worded letter. And I think it is not just one neighbor that should be just fly over or just be a 9-day story. I'm applauding neighbor as to why this is not getting any more traction than it's currently getting. I am even applaud neighbor as to why, FID is not even asked to give their stake whether this is true, whether this breaking news this breaking information from Nationwide is true or it is false or anything like that, or if it is true. If the FID could in their good sense make it for public opinion to quell whatever disperse or misinformation out there in public opinion, to come out and quell that public opinion by stating yes, this letter is true or not, because the words that were used in that letter neighbor, the things that the FID has said in that letter neighbor, they are very, very concerning, and there are things neighbor that we should definitely take serious and definitely point to the fact that the Integrity Commission is definitely not acting in the best interest of Jamaica and Jamaicans. They are not using best law, international practice, and stuff like that, neighbor. So that's the biggest news coming out of Jamaica for me, neighbor. I'm just applaud and shocked and concerned as to why other media houses and why it is not gaining the attention that something of this magnitude, neighbor, and an institution like the Integrity Commission is not getting that anymore in form of attention. No? And I'm just concerned about that.
Thank you. Astute, your big story?
So, I have two, but Harry mentioned one, so my other one is...
no, but one you get a chance. Just one.
Yeah. So the pronouncements made by Ambassador-designate Kari Lake, to me, represents an unprecedented position that we've not seen in a very long time. Because what this means is that a manufacturing and a manufacturing industry and other industries are coming back to Jamaica from the US. Because Kari Lake is saying that Jamaica is in a position where rebuilding is going to be taking place. And she wants US companies to bid on some of those contracts.
Yes.
That is a magnificent position for Jamaica to be in.
Uh-huh.
Because the People's National Party destroyed our manufacturing industry and to a large extent our private sector. It's the first in a very long time. I hear companies, especially from the US, because China has always been here investing, but it's a long time. I hear US officials saying they want US businesses to vie and bid for contracts in Jamaica. So that is a big pronouncement for me coming out of last week.
Well, that's fantastic. What about you, Winston?
You know, Neighbour, I would share Astute statement that's a big point for me, Neighbour.
Yes.
Jamaica is now in an attractive mood. The Prime Minister is able to take on this woman and dress her home and, get her into good health again. Buy nice clothes for her, fix up her hair, so now she becomes attractive. And even our Lord, the trading pardon now, is interested in this woman called Jamaica. So those stories are a big story, Neighbour, in the media. This is good news for Jamaica. Now Jamaica can be able to even create more jobs for its people, and these industry will pay even better wages than most of the jobs that are available here. So these are big news, Neighbour. And I'm really happy for Jamaica that Jamaica now is attractive.
Okay, starting with you, Astute. Give us a story that you think that we have missed last week that we should have paid more attention to. What is that? Panel, same question. What story you think we have not paid much attention to in media.
One stood out to me. Jamaica has the most roads next to Japan in the world. 227,000 kilometers of road.
Per kilometer, not the most roads, per kilometer.
Yeah, per kilometer. Yeah, 27,000 kilometers. Japan would be number one, Jamaica number two.
Wow.
And unprecedented 109 roads have been fixed and or rehabilitated, which has never been done in our history. It is mind-blowing to me, neighbor. It is mind-blowing.
And then nobody was talking about that last week.
And nobody not talking about it. Nobody. The same people who complain every day say, Jamaican roads even fixed too much. Nobody's talking out. Nobody in the communities where the roads fixed. Nobody in government, and not government, but no MP, no media outlet, only Nesta Morgan me here talk about it. And it can't be just the minister works alone and talk about it. It needs to be echoed.
Yes.
By through the length and breadth of the country.
Very good.
And I can't understand why. So yes, that is what sticks out to me.
Scratchy, what big stories out there that nobody's talking about that you would like to highlight?
I think one of the things in Jamaica, neighbor, is that the stories are breaking so fast, neighbor.
Yes. Yeah.
Jamaica is like one of those app series,
You have to stay tuned. You have to stay tuned. You can't miss anything, eh?
Yeah, but you don't get the time to fully digest one thing, but by the time you're getting a full understanding of one thing,
yeah.
Something gets pop out in the next 10 minutes.
Yes, but try.
So a
Uh-huh.
lot of these stories, some of them fall by the wayside, but if you even realize, the publication and the press conference that was led up by JUTC,
yes.
The person who was damaging the
absolutely. That is a good one.
That job right under water.
Yeah. and they're offering $1 million. And look at that. 2 buses destroyed. Nobody talking about that.
Nobody care about that. Nobody care about
that. I mean, JUDC, it was so important and big that JUDC had to break and call a press conference in the middle of the day to get us to understand that there was a man walking around Jamaica setting buses on fire and nobody's talking about that. So
true. Nobody's talking about that, but that can't be right without water.
Media won't get any advertisement for that, eh?
Media don't get no advertisement for that, neighbor.
Yeah. You made a point earlier, Scratchy, and I think a lot of our listeners probably need to understand that. We are working on this civic corner segment of the show, listeners. So stay tuned for that. That media is also business, Scratchy, and I think people tend to not remember that the salespersons down at Nationwide and the Gleaner are going to be calling advertisers to tell them what big stories they have coming at 5 o'clock. They should place ads there. That's how they work.
These media houses, neighbor, they're running a business, and I can tell you this, neighbor. The Jamaica Labour Party are this current administration, neighbor, led by Andrew Michael, neighbor, is an administration, neighbor, where you can put on your pot on water, neighbor. You can put on your pot with water on fire, neighbor, and depend on them. And depend on the meaning. What I'm going to say is, neighbor, that this is an administration, neighbor, that is marketable, neighbor. This is an administration where if you talk about them, neighbor, it is possible. If you talk good about them, it's possible you can gain from it. And if you talk bad about them, you can definitely gain from it.
Even more.
Even more. You gain more by talking bad from them, neighbor. And I think that the media houses, neighbor, I found that niche and find out, neighbor, that this is a government, neighbor, that despite the government doing so good and the government doing so much, I think media houses realize, neighbor, that there's a large section of the population, neighbor, that don't sit eye to eye with this government. There's a large section of this population that wants to see this government fail. So the media, neighbor, the media houses prey on that section of the population make the news a very nice and appetize it up for them neighbor, so it is very digestive for them. And these people buy into the news when the news speak negative about the Jamaica Labour Party, and they run with it because. And next thing we have to realize to the neighbor, we have to understand that person have to understand where the world is going neighbor. I live in Canada. And the media houses in Canada neighbor that leads towards governing party neighbor. If you look at even America neighbor, there are media houses in America neighbor that leads towards Republican, and there's the next one that leads towards the Democrat. So we have to also understand neighbor that the media landscape around the world neighbor has changed neighbor, where media is now neighbor are far left and media are far right.
Yes.
Neighbor. And they have their own hidden agenda, and they're gonna push their agenda. So we know and find out from earlier that the Gleaner Corporation neighbor is not in line with the Jamaica Labour Party agenda. That's just the reality of how media is now around the world. It is not just unique to Jamaica alone. This is something that is going on around the world.
Absolutely, because if you listen to Fox in the United States, you have no doubt. But it's just that they're explicit with it though. They're not hypocrites.
Exactly. CNN bring down President Trump every single day.
Right.
CNN never highlight anything good about Trump, neighbor. So this is going to show you, neighbor, that media houses around the world, neighbor, are taking their political sides, and this is the new world order that is being set, and we have to just understand.
And it is being modeled on social media, Scratchy, because some of these platforms are exclusively designated to promote their parties. Bloggers.
Communication. Exactly. Communication is a big thing here, but a lot of these things are exclusive to made to promote their party.
Yes.
Neighbor. So if you know that the Gleaner Corporation or the Gleaner Company support the People's National Party, you don't read them paper, you don't subscribe to them online portals and stuff like that. You go where you feel like your agenda is being said or what you like is being said. That is the way the world is going on here, but it is not just unique to Jamaica alone. It is in the world. Here in Canada, it's the same thing. The current media house is the main one neighbor. They side more the liberal government than the opposition. In England, all of these places neighbor, this is how it goes. Media houses have them favorite, they have their own agenda, they have their own belief, and they tend to support the political organization that share that belief. One of the good things that we must be thankful for, neighbor, is that Jamaica is a very small population of less than 3 million persons.
Yes.
And a media house as large and cover so many percentage of the media landscape, neighbor, as Gleaner Corporation, neighbor. And the Jamaica Labour Party has still managed to win 3 consecutive elections. That is where the merit and that is where the good point should come in.
Do you think that the Politics Plus network is aligned?
The Politics Plus is aligned?
Yes.
I mean, when I say aligned, neighbor, I would definitely say, neighbor, I'm definitely aligned.
I'm not asking about you. the network that you work for. Where is it aligned?
Yes,
you are part of the editorial.
I will publicly say that Politics Plus is aligned.
Yes.
Politically aligned, but despite Politics Plus being politically aligned to a political organization, neighbor, it doesn't prevent us from being objective and being fair in our pronouncement and whatever is going on or whatever is there to say. But yes, Politics Plus is being aligned, and that is the reality of where the world is going. You have to get in gear. You have to find yourself on a side, and you have to take a side. And we choose Jamaica, which we believe is the best side, neighbor. We believe that is the best side, neighbor. It's a political organization that we believe is serving the best interest of Jamaicans. So yes, neighbor, I would say Politics Plus is definitely aligned, of course.
Okay. Harry, what's your story that no one is talking about?
Well, neighbor, to be honest, literally nobody has spoken about this. And it was the debate, the sectoral debate by Edmund Bartlett.
Yes.
Right? And he dubbed it Tourism 3.0. Nobody, neighbor, not even the mainstream media even looked at it. That is because it's not sexy. But you know what it is about, neighbor? It is advancement. It is tourism transformation. And a lot of people may say, well, the name Tourism 3.0, what it really entails, is something to benefit the tourism industry even deeper for the local communities. And to move the idea that tourism is just about bed and breakfast and hotels, right? It is more about getting communities involved. And under Tourism 3.0, it is a transformative model neighbor that will actually encompass and prioritize workers' welfare. Now, remember this, it is under the leadership of Edmund Bartlett that tourism workers actually got pension. A pension fund was set up. Now, they're going even further with this one under Tourism 3.0, which is to implore and have the large investors build mandatory housing and make provisions for it for those employees. And as it stands, neighbor, they're looking at about 3,000 rooms to be built for these employees. So it's not a minor project to say it shouldn't make news. This is a massive thing to ensure that our number 2 foreign earning exchange remains resilient, but also is transformative on a global scale. And I can tell you firsthand, the neighbor, and secondhand, because I have both of them, you know, I have my information, that they've been ramping up different tours, different meetings, different going to different sections of the world, tapping into different markets to aid this transformation, and it's looking beautiful thus far. In fact, Jamaica is also on board to surpass previous numbers again, and this is something we've taken for granted under the astute leadership of Edmund Bartlett, neighbor. And I think he's one of the greatest tourism ministers we've ever had, if not the best, right? Barring those who laid the foundation, such as Edward Seaga, who did a great deal in the earlier stages. But this,
yeah.
Go ahead, neighbor.
Now, as a matter of fact, Harry, I think you have struck gold there in terms of the minister's presentation in Parliament. I was a little disappointed listening to him that he wasn't even allowed time to complete such an important presentation. The minister did say that more than 8,000 tourism employees are back on the job. May I tell you a little secret though, Harry? And I know that you are a man in the tourism sector, that you have studied this subject well, but there is a fantastic new product that is going to be introduced to Trelawney. There is a massive new tourism project that is about to be unveiled in Trelawney later on this year, and it's going to be transformative. Very exciting things happening in tourism. So Trelawney, Jamaica, all of you cruise liners, Ministry of Education, all around Trelawney, stay tuned. Something big is coming to Trelawney, and I'm going to share a little bit more about that in the coming weeks. Later on this year, something big is coming for Trelawney. But that's a great story that you're bringing out there, Harry. Winston, sorry, yeah, Harry, go ahead, complete.
Yes, neighbor.
Let Harry finish.
Yeah, I was also sharing that despite the Melissa effect, neighbor, we still welcomed 3.7 million visitors last year, and generated over $4 billion, right, in tourism earnings, and this is over $4 billion US. So it shows, neighbor, that this is a sector and an industry that is growing strength to strength, irregardless of the geopolitical issues we're seeing, regardless of the natural disasters and those things that are there. We're finding ways to ensure that Jamaica is still demanded globally. And I think people need to understand that Jamaica has produced one of the best tourism ministers internationally. So they need to understand that the work that he has put in and where Jamaica is, we should not take this for granted, neighbor, right? And we need to look into these things, because it is moving tourism to be holistic. We spoke about the leakages and linkages that ought to be there. It is getting there, and this model is a part of that to help have a catalyst in driving us forward and doing it a lot faster. And I think why this doesn't make the news in a neighbor is because, sadly, the People's National Party can never ever touch tourism. this sector, this ministry is one in which they have never gotten the upper hand on at no point in time in their history. And as such, they have not tried to attack it. The media ensure that they don't speak about it, so it goes under the radar. But the truth of the matter is that it is doing well, way beyond others that did not get a Melissa. And we need to understand that and stop taking it for granted.
Fantastic. Hold on there, Winston. I have Chops Media and Infomedia with me at 8:45. The Sunday Review is on. I wonder if Chops want to chime in here. Chops? Okay. I think Chops is either getting a call or is on a break. So let's jump over to Infomedia. Infomedia? No.
Good night, hello neighbor. Good night, hello neighbor.
Good night, sir.
Good night. Good night, your panelists. Sweet Caroline, good night. Good night. I think the bite of the week, I will take the bite of the week, and the bite of the week for me is Lambert Brown. I'm going to be very political on this one. I think the Labour Party should milk Lambert's statement for what it's worth. Milk it for all what it's worth, because at the end of the day, that statement by Lambert Brown can be a real setback where NARA and the development of this country is concerned. Mind you, the United States is still the superpower. Whether you like this or no, they still hold a vast majority of power in their hands. And especially when it comes to the Caribbean island, United States have a stick over our backs because we cannot fend for ourselves in many different economic areas. And I'm warning the Labour Party, they should milk Lambert Brown's statement for all it's worth.
In other words, milk meaning what?
Milk mean ensure that the PNP pay a political price for that. That is mean. Either the PNP come and get rid of Lambert Brown, or the United States act appropriately. But the People's National Party must play a political price for that. And I say it without any fear or favor. And I meant every word I said. During Bruce Bowling administration, Bruce Bowling went to Parliament when the extradition request come down for Doddle. And Bruce Bowling said, the Constitution don't begin at legally. And Bruce Bowling paid a political price for it. And you know about it, you understand?
Yeah.
I think the PNP should pay the same political price because they have said worse than what Mr. Golden said.
How old are you? I'm 5, so old.
And they should pay it. And the JP communications arm should milk Lambert Brown's statement Friday afternoon in Parliament for all it's worth. And that statement beats even what they accuse weekly of. I think that is the biggest atrocity could ever happen to Jamaica at this point in time.
Turn down your TV. Turn down your TV there, Info.
I think it is the biggest atrocity that could ever happen to Jamaica at this point in time, where we're looking to partner with the United States and get the infrastructure development across the 7 parishes that were damaged. And this careless statement by Lambert Brown, some of us laugh at it and think it is a serious statement. You cannot talk about the Secretary of State of the most powerful country in the world and say a pedophile friend them. No. If I am the communications arm of the Labour Party, Lambert Brown couldn't have a sleep good night. He would have a sleepless night because everywhere in town and video will be playing. I will remind him of that statement. That's what I have to say, neighbor.
Yeah, but hold on there, Info. So you are suggesting that that the PNP could pay a political price for this?
Yes, and I said it because this U.S. administration.
Yes, but then wouldn't that be a little bit of political interference in Jamaica's well, you know?
No. The United States have ways. Have mashed up in political party before. Without them in power, without they are with them in power. And this statement like this could send the PNP in chaos, mean leadership challenge, shake up and all these things. So you understand? And me personally, Me, if I was a part of the communications arm of the Labour Party, I would milk it for what it worth. And I hear you when I speak.
Oh, well, yeah, I think it is going to have some ramifications going forward.
Let me tell you this, hello neighbor.
Yeah.
What we don't understand, we take what Lambert Brown said lightly because Lambert Brown said it, but it is not likely. Remember,
in other words, if it came from Golding, it would be a political earthquake.
Yes, but mind you, it comes from the parliament. It comes from a legislative.
Yes.
Whether Golding said it or anybody said it that sits in parliament is dangerous to the United States. And I say this to say, the United States already know that Jamaica is this poster child for the world, and the world fall in love with Jamaica. And everywhere you go, everybody wants to be Jamaican. The United States lose their fame. Most of the people want to go to the United States. Everybody wants to come to Jamaica. Everywhere you go, Jamaica, Jamaica, Jamaica. You don't think United States want back their fame?
Yes.
You don't think they want that? Hello, neighbor. That statement by Lambert Brown is a massive problem to our country. Massive problem. And some people talking about what about Wheatley? Wheatley not near what Lambert Brown said because Wheatley is not challenging a superpower. Wheatley's not doing that. We have an internal problem with Wheatley allegations from other quarters about Wheatley. The People's National Party Senator is challenging the United States, calling them evil empire. Evil empire. So what they're accusing Wheatley of is a little to our problem that we're going to have forward when the United States ready to act on this statement by somebody from the legislative arm of government because it's a part of the legislative arm, because the Senate have to vote on certain laws. Remember that, hello neighbor?
Yes.
And when you have a member of the Senate could say that statement, remember our parliament is not local anymore. Mind you, our parliament is not local anymore. BBC, CNN, ABC, NSBC, everybody get clipping from the Jamaican parliament. Mind you, Fox News, Jamaica parliament is an international parliament now. Gone are the days when nobody wants to hear from us, hello neighbor. The world wants to hear from us. And that's a reckless and wicked statement should be made against a country.
I agree with you, but I was expecting that the PNP would have not supported it, but the PNP has basically doubled down on it and posted it on their page.
Oh.
Yes.
That's nice. That's nice. That's nice.
Yeah, the PNP has said it. PNP has had it. PNP has published it on their Facebook page. Lambert Brown's comment. Go over there and look at it.
I think the Labour Party should milk it for what it's worth. If I am the communications arm, they would not have a good night in their bed. Even in their sleep, they would hear it. Yeah, tell them. Even in their sleep, and hello neighbor, that's where I blame my party. Or communications arm is very poor.
Well, yeah, I was going to spend 20 minutes on that, but I'm not going to get to it tonight. I only have a few minutes left on the program. I think that the party's communication is.
But I am going to do my rounds on it because every time on my platform, I'm going to milk it myself for what it's worth.
Well.
I care who wants to listen, yes or no, but I am going to milk it.
Yeah. Well, thank you, sir.
All right. Yes, Carly, pick up yourself.
Yeah, fantastic. Let's go in for the final vote. Winston. What no one was talking about last week?
You know, neighbor, Harry, I've touched it all. I believe from the sectoral debate what the tourism minister was presented in the parliament are big items, big news.
Yes.
Game changer. And as I said before, neighbor, Jamaica becomes sexy now, that we are in a position where we can negotiate from a place of strength. Gone are the days when Jamaica need a company to invest here. We have to give up a lot of incentive for that company to come in. Now we can make demands. I think it's a game changer where we are linking the tourism product with housing, meaning that people from all across of Jamaica now can get employment in the tourism sector, no matter where you live. Because many a times housing is a problem, why some people, rural community people, not left out to seek employment because they are feasible to travel back and forth and to pay rent. And so this is a big change. It is also enhance the construction industry in a big way, and we know that it will also increase government revenue because all construction items attract GCT. So these are big changes in the economy overall, neighbor. It's unfortunate that we become the place where news is that news, but propaganda is the harder of the day. Because when you hear these big stories coming from our parliament and our media, our news media do not care to pass on this information to our people, you can see that we are in a very sad place.
Thank you. Astute. Yeah, Astute. Starting with you, the story that was disappointing for you, the most disappointing news story this week.
There's so many. I think there are several, but I'm going to talk on just this one. It is disappointing to me, neighbor, to realize the deficiency in our education system across the length and breadth of Jamaica. People don't know what an MOU is. It seems like they don't know how to use their smartphones or a computer to do the simple reading, neighbor, simple reading. And to see even people who say they support the Jamaica Labour Party giving into this propaganda,
yes,
it shows how powerful of a tool propaganda is. However, so to answer your question, one of the most disappointing stories is the one where people, well, in the new media, because we have traditional media and new media. I want to say something though, neighbor, before, and I'm not staying long. Scratchy made a point about mainstream media being either left or right leaning, but the uniqueness in Jamaica is that we don't have several what is called mainstream media. Normally it was TVJ and CVM, with TVJ having the vast amount of viewership in terms of a broadcaster, and Gleaner having the most of the share of readership in terms of a print media. Now, if the RJR Communications Group, which is a conglomerate media house, is used as a propaganda machine, it is not the same as Canada. We have CTV, CBC, and several other state media. Or the US we have Fox, CNN, MSNBC, etc. It's not the same. So I just wanted to say that. But to your question, the TCN story is the most disappointing one. I think it is irresponsible and I think it is dangerous, because if it should happen, because an MOU is not a contractually or legally binding agreement, but if it should happen, it can mean serious challenges for Jamaica, because the whole TCN program is a constitutional nightmare as it is already. Because I follow the US, I follow US politics hard. I follow US politics, Canadian politics, UK politics, and Jamaican politics, because we're in a global society. So whatever happens in these countries affect Jamaica. So if these people come to our country on a program that is not constitutionally supported by the Constitution of the world, international constitution, or even our local constitution, Jamaica can be set back tremendously. And if this should happen, my goodness, neighbor, we are fighting for our very lives. We are literally fighting for our very lives, because every time the PMP get them hand on the country, they mash it up, they wreck it. We cannot afford it. So yes, the TCN program and the misinformation and disinformation around it is the most disappointing story of the week.
Scratchy, your most disappointing story?
I mean, my most disappointing story, neighbor. Again, I'm trying to again, neighbor, not to prolong it, but with what Aston said earlier, and I think, neighbor, I disagree with Aston. I think they're the same, whether it's media in Jamaica, in Trinidad, America, US, it doesn't matter. I think the problem in Jamaica, neighbor, is that the Broadcasting Commission blundered, neighbor, when they gave the agreement, neighbor, for the Gleaner Communication Group and TVG and all of those guys to merge and create this monster. That is where the problem was, neighbor. Neighbor, the main thing that you want to do in your country to strike a balance, neighbor, is to make sure that on your media is not monopolized. You can't run a country with a media that is monopolized.
And you are saying that the other stations in Jamaica are friars. They're not really impactful.
Yes, they are not that impactful, neighbor. The Broadcasting Commission of the day, neighbor, should have never authorized that merger, neighbor. Because once you do that merger, neighbor, it's a very small country. And when time you create a merger like that, neighbor, you're basically monopolizing, neighbor.
Especially as it relates to news and information. Because the other radio stations in Jamaica don't give information. They're mostly music.
They are mostly for music, neighbor. So that is where the problem lies, neighbor. In time when they gave the go-ahead, neighbor, for the merger, neighbor, this big media group to come together and form this big media group, it was wrong. And this is why we are seeing a high level of misinformation. This is the high level why we are so up now talking about the media is biased and the media is this, neighbor. Because of how large those media houses are, neighbor, they can pool resources now into one to create a monster group now. That is where the issue is.
Because make no mistake about it, Scratchy. And I mean, I think that it would be fair to say, don't ever think that the Gleaner don't have influence.
Yeah, but anybody who think that the Gleaner don't have influence, they don't understand where our country is coming from. Don't know, neighbor, how far the Gleaner is coming from, neighbor, and stuff like that, neighbor. So I think that is where we blundered. We should have never gave the go-ahead, neighbor, for that merger. That the Gleaner, they managed to manage a very large percentage of our media in terms of how they put out their information and stuff like that. So I think that is where we blundered. I think that is where we blundered. But my most disappointing news, neighbor, was the fact, neighbor, about the broadcasting that TVJ made, neighbor, in terms of the TCN being in St. Mary, neighbor. I think, neighbor, that the TVJ, neighbor, boots the argument more and allow Jamaican to form negative perception of the argument more. I think they had the opportunity where they could have done it on a more professional level, neighbor, where they could have called the minister himself. They could have called one of the minister of information. They could have called the security minister. They could have speak to any one of these persons to get clarity before you went down there with a camera and exaggerate the whole thing and push the whole thing to make it seem like it is real. Because if persons see you come in their communities and you asking questions about this, they're going to think that it was some form of valuation and it is real. So that is my biggest disappointment, neighbor, for the week. I think, neighbor, it was a very weak broadcast, and one, neighbor, that I think the media house should have taken more interest in getting information from the persons who are directly involved. And one of the things, neighbor, why I think this TCN thing is causing a problem, and a lot of person might attack me for this, neighbor, this is just my truth. I think, neighbor, the problem is, neighbor, Dr. Chang is not one of the best communicators in the Jamaica Labour Party, neighbor. Dr. Chang is a very good, we definitely go down, neighbor, one of the best minister of security, neighbor. But I don't like how Dr. Chang communicates, neighbor. I don't think Dr. Chang is a good communicator, neighbor. Dr. Chang come out sometimes strong, neighbor. Sometimes he comes out very defensive when you need a more soft approach because of the nature of the situation that you're talking about. I think Dr. Chang might be too strong sometimes. And I don't see Dr. Chang, neighbor, as being one of the better communicators or one of the best persons in terms of the communication in our thing, because the TCN, neighbor, is something that falls under his ministry. And I think that the information minister, neighbor, gave a better explanation. And when an information minister speak on it, neighbor, Jamaicans understood more when the information minister speak on it, neighbor, than when the minister himself speak on it, neighbor. So that is the problem I see where the TCN thing is coming from, neighbor. Dr. Chang, neighbor, very good minister, but not a very good communicator.
Well, that's true. You have a point there. Winston, your disappointing story.
My disappointing story, neighbor, is TVJ again. they should be more responsible. They play a very important role in our country. And what they are doing is in Neighbour. When they break the news that 10,000 deportees are slated to come to the country, and when they check it out, it was a blatant lie. I believe what they are trying to do, Neighbour, is to try to back up their blunder. And that is why they now jump on this next live again to say that deportees are sent to St. Mary, which turned up to be another lie. So instead of them trying to cover their track, they were trying to prove their point. They're already digging a deeper hole. And so, you know, you see, Neighbour, it's always said, you know, that when you tell the truth, you need no defense. But when you tell lie, you have to keep on defending the lies. So, you know, TPJ is really a letdown to me. And I have been in protest against this media entity. I do not watch TVJ News for maybe about 3 years now. I usually be an ardent reader of the Gleaner. I usually buy a copy of the Gleaner every Sunday and the Observer. For the past 2 years, I no longer read the Gleaner. At all. I no longer read the Observer either. You understand? So I am in protest.
You're saving money.
Disseminate information in this country.
Yeah. Finally, Astute, this is our final question. What will Jamaicans be talking about come tomorrow?
Them still gonna talk about the teas. They're gonna talk about what Lambert. They're gonna talk about what Lambert said regarding the undesirables coming in. Especially the PNP.
So you are saying tomorrow morning on the lives, Ingram will be on that?
Most definitely. Ingram,
yes.
Pierre, Caution, all of them. Klaba, the baller, anyways, I'm not giving up. I don't want to give them no airtime. Not give them no airtime. But yes, they'll be talking about that tomorrow. They'll be talking about the TCN program. Say, Neighbour, I'm glad you asked me. You know what I realize is also happening? They are trying to discredit the government to say they are not credible sources of information. That is one of the tactics I see them using. So they might say, you really have to believe the liar government? That is one of the tactics. So they might come out tomorrow and say, no care what Dr. Chang say, no care what nobody say, you hear what Lambert say, and
yes.
So you go. Now listen to the government. Now listen to what the government has said. Them saying them on you, lie them a tell. They're telling lies. Don't listen to them. So yes, they're going to talk about the Lambert story. They're going to talk about the Lambert story. They're going to talk about the TCN program. Is there anything else? Yeah, that's it. That's what's going to take.
So in terms of narrative framing, Astute, that is what we have framed going forward into next. What about the Labour Party media people and bloggers? What should they be talking about?
I think we should be talking about the positives coming out and the Car Lake story, the tourism 3.0, roads being fixed, the water minister to invest $5 billion in insurance that every Jamaican
can you promise me that you will be disciplined enough this week to focus on these things, sir? Can you?
Neighbour, I don't go live, you know what I do? The big live.
Yeah, but I'm asking you if you can be disciplined enough to go up there and talk about water and
yes, man. I do it every day, neighbour. Every day people are saying, I'm gonna get sleep. They must have paid you good.
I see.
They can't believe I'm not being paid by the government to do this for free.
You know, neighbour, allow me to say this to neighbour quickly. You know, neighbour, Scratchy said something very profound a while ago, you know, and I think we miss it, you know. Right now in Jamaica for the first time in my lifetime, there are so many positives coming out of Jamaica that I can't digest them. Even Matthew Samuda come out last week with a big item of news in the neighbor. $5 billion will be spent this calendar year in capital project for the National Water Commission. You know?
Yes.
Neighbor, those are big news in the neighbor. Western St. Mary will benefit immensely from a water project, you know. And this water will be taken from out of what they call it, Aguataville, right? Leading into Western St. Mary. These are big news items, neighbor. They will do a water project from Martabray and other part in Chilani.
Yeah.
Neighbor, I remember days gone by when they were thinking about to privatize the Water Commission because the government could not come up with no capital whatsoever to invest in the Water Commission.
True.
And now we can spend $5 billion in a capital project in a one calendar year.
True. Good. Scratchy, what will Jamaicans be talking about tomorrow?
Neighbor, you know Jamaican neighbor. Jamaicans don't talk about big news, neighbor. Jamaicans talk about bad news, neighbor. Big news, big news, neighbor. Don't big news don't pay bills in Jamaica, neighbor. It's bad news that pay bills in Jamaica. So tomorrow, neighbor, I'm expecting, neighbor. I am not expecting much. I guess first we'll be talking about the TCN. But when they're talking about the TCN, neighbor, not necessarily in regards, neighbor, to Lambert Borough, neighbor. Lambert Borough, neighbor, is not a politician that gain any form of traction. Lambert Borough is not one of the most popular politicians, neighbor. Lambert Borough is not even one of the most easily politicians to look at, neighbor. So Lambert Borough, neighbor, that's not about Lambert Borough, that's a say, neighbor. Not going to gain any form of traction. I think that died over the weekend, just like Lambert himself, neighbor. But the TCN will be continue to be a part of the discussion, but not necessarily from the Lambert Borough standpoint, neighbor. What I'm expecting tomorrow, though, neighbor, you know, Monday is one of the biggest news days of the week in Jamaica. What I'm expecting, neighbor, is for media, is for persons, neighbor, to continue to bring up back the whole Integrity Commission thing, neighbor, and Dr. Wheatley.
Yes.
I expect, neighbor, that some part of civil society Jamaicans are going to be coming about the silence of the Prime Minister. They're going to try to put a number on how many days now the Prime Minister haven't said anything and stuff like that. Because our news in Jamaica, neighbor, is set in a certain way where nobody want to talk about now. Talking about if we should come on our platform, neighbor, and say, we're going to talk about $5 billion that the government is being spent in terms of water projects, neighbor, going into this year and going forward. But at the same time, our opponents are talking about Dr. Wheatley a thief, that the Prime Minister a thief. How do we talk about water despite something that has more national interest, or from a more political standpoint has more political interest as a Dr. Wheatley scenario, Dr. Wheatley the whole thing. You know, person might be talking about it. Do we talk about?
But we're not selling advertisement, Scratch. But we will not have it. Listen.
Do we leave the water projects and go talk about Dr. Wheatley, or do we continue to talk about the water project? Despite us not selling advertisement, neighbor, even our viewers, neighbor, our avid viewers that we have,
they want to hear about it too.
Exactly, neighbor. They don't want to hear about the water.
Yeah, ask them in the chat. Listeners, do you want us to talk about water projects tomorrow, or you want us to talk about the IC and Dr. Wheatley? Text it in the chat. Let's hear what you want us to talk about. Do you want us to continue the series, the road to Singapore, or you want us to talk about what Lambert Brown said? Let us know. Go ahead, Scratchy.
Yes, because when I wake up 7:30 or 8 o'clock in the morning, neighbor, and Mr. Ingham already the week before me, I muddy the water. I muddy the platform already, neighbor.
Yes.
And Mr. Ingham already go out there and make his pronouncement in that type of disinformation and misinformation. It is now my job now, neighbor, to rebut now what Mr. Ingham is saying, because what Mr. Ingham already set the tone on social media. So sometimes, neighbor, we have to talk about what is in the best interest of the party, neighbor, from a political standpoint. And I believe, neighbor, that this coming week, neighbor, it is still going to be Dr. Wheatley, IC, TC, and neighbor. That is going to be the discussion going forward for this week. Our major news outlets will be talking about that. The naysayers will be talking about the silence of the Prime Minister. How many days now the Prime Minister has not said anything? It's another Monday, and they know that cabinet meetings are held on Monday, and they're going to say that Dr. Wheatley is still a part of the cabinet, what is going on, and stuff like that, neighbor. So I expect, neighbor, that they'll be talking to persons who hold high office, whether in the private sector, You're not talking to those persons as to whether those persons share their own opinion and what those persons think of Dr. Wheatley and stuff like that. I think never the biggest thing going forward is not even the TCN's neighbor. I think it's the whole Dr. Wheatley thing neighbor. The TCN, yes, it is up there, but the Dr. Wheatley thing neighbor is the biggest thing because the People's National Party neighbor and the surrogate of the People's National Party, whenever they are going to come with their attack neighbor, they are going to look at what can cause more political damage to the Jamaica governing Labour Party than any other topics. But they're going to say, all right, what about the TCN? We talk about TCNs. Does this? The PNP is going to leave the TCN argument in the neighbor. They're going to tread lightly on it, because they know the impact of that in the neighbor. There to talk too much about it.
Yes, and I suspect that there are discussions right now around that, and probably
exactly,
the good sense is being prevailed. Yeah, somebody's make a call.
They know that topic can lead to visa revocation.
Oh, yes.
They know that topic. The PNP is not stupid, neighbor. They know what can happen coming from this
yes.
argument, neighbor. They to come out and continue with
it. Can't benefit them politically. They'll flag weekly.
Exactly. The only thing that can benefit them politically that they might think neighbor is the Dr. Wheatley thing. And that is what they are going to be running with and pushing come this week.
Okay, that's great. Big story this week is Dr. Wheatley, and I think the Prime Minister and the IC is a story that deserves some more attention. The Prime Minister lack of confidence in the IC and how the IC has been behaving. That probably will be carried over to, not true?
Definitely, neighbor, because the Prime Minister is where the book stops, neighbor, and if the Prime Minister neighbor cannot outright neighbor say that he has confidence neighbor in the Integrity Commission that it starts neighbor with some power neighbor. It sends a message neighbor that something needs fixing, So he stated neighbor that in the current state the IC needs fixing. We all know that in the current state the IC needs fixing. I have said this before that I myself neighbor I am not a liar, but looking outside and looking at the IC and at the IC bill, I know the IC was crafted neighbor. There's a lot of mishaps in that bill neighbor. There's too much power that was given neighbor to a committee that can overthrow a government or cause a certain level of pronouncement or persons to form their own perception, whether that be good or bad for government or persons. And the IC again neighbor, the IC again is one of those organizations in Jamaica neighbor where they are guided when it comes to the defamation of character act as well neighbor. They are not a group where you can just easily say you're going to charge them for defamation of character because the Integrity Commission bill has a clause in it, neighbor, that protects them in terms of suing them in terms for defamation of character to a certain level. So again, neighbor, it is a bill that I think needs some serious looking into, neighbor. I don't think a single organization like the Integrity Commission should be given this awesome power, neighbor. After saying that I recommend this person to be charged for illicit enrichment because there's a certain level of income that this person cannot say this is how they come by this income. I think the mere fact neighbor that someone cannot show you the necessary documents to prove how they come by the income neighbor, I don't think that alone should lead to the Integrity Commission recommending any form of charges. I think what it should do neighbor is delay the certification of the process neighbor, and then now neighbor that level of investigation is move on to a higher body who have more who starts neighbor, who have more resources, who starts more than the IC neighbor to carry out these type of investigation. So for the IC to just publicly come out and say that, I think that is a big blunder, and the IC that power should be taken from the IC. And this is one of the things why the Prime Minister brought the IC to court neighbor. The Prime Minister didn't bring the IC to court neighbor because the Prime Minister had a problem with the IC. There's a certain clause in the IC neighbor that the Prime Minister has issues with, where I believe the clause is something, it's clause 14 something neighbor, where in normal cases neighbor, if you are found guilty, or the perception of guilt is there and someone is investigating on you, it is the onus is on the prosecutor neighbor to prove that you are guilty. But in the IC case neighbor, it is up to the investigating neighbor to prove his innocence. And I think that is where the blunder is as well, neighbor. It cannot be where it is up to me. If you investigate me, neighbor, and you don't say anything to charge me for anything, neighbor, I don't think the onus should be on me to continue trying to prove that I didn't illegally enrich myself. The onus should be on you to prove that I illegally enrich myself. And it's the opposite with the IC. So again, it's an organization that seriously needs some form of changing and the balancing neighbor. I need to fix. But other than that, tomorrow week neighbor, I expect the Prime Minister, Integrity Commission, Dr. Wheatley, that I expect discussion to be around going into this week.
Thank you so much. Well, that's going to have to do it for us on this Sunday review show, the Hello Neighbor show, and the Politics Plus network. It was great having you on this glorious Sunday. So many things we covered, so many things we did not get a chance to cover. Your support continues to be welcomed. Our Zelle account, 954-635-8732. That's 954-635-8732. We appreciate your sponsor. Hold on, Winston. And your support. Please remember to subscribe to our backup channel, Politics Plus Jamaica. That's the backup channel, Politics Plus Jamaica. Of course, the shows are also shown live there. You can catch us there live. Please also remember to visit the Hello Neighbor merchandise store, where you can pick up something online. And please remember to join us again tomorrow at 7 p.m. when we will do this all over again for you. Those of you who are on X, good night to you. Those of you who are on YouTube, great night to you. Those of you who are on Patreon, have a fantastic night. Shafreen, thank you so much for the support. And once again, subscribe to the backup channel, Politics Plus Jamaica. That's Politics Plus Jamaica. Until we meet again tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Bye-bye.